Holy cow, what's up, everybody? We're live. Live, live, live. Already got the ticker going on the bottom. Check that out. New and updated. Let's see. What else is new? Let's listen, we're just gonna get right to the nitty-gritty. I don't plan on doing a stream very long tonight. Say that all the time and then rarely happens, but this time I mean it, okay? This time I mean it. We're just gonna get into the nitty-gritty. I have videos I've prepared for you guys. Let's start out with this, Mastering Law of Attraction today. Let's do this. Criminalizing Camera was the title of this. But anyways, Law of Attraction, that's what that says right there. If you want to take a minute and read that. I don't think I need to read it for anybody. I'd be happy to, but I worked on a few videos, so I'd like to premiere those or debut those. Thank you to anyone that checked out my court date. That was pretty spectacular. But tonight we're going to talk about this real quick. If you're watching this on a restream, thank you for coming in. We're just going to get right into videos. We're not going to waste a lot of time. So thank you for watching on the restream. And then please share this video. That's one thing. Please, if you're a fan of this channel or you're watching from the TikTok and you came over to YouTube, if you can share the TikToks, that would be great. Sharing is caring. Remember that. Sharing is caring, okay? All right, let's play a video. This is one that I worked on. This will tie into Fan Day Friday, which should be tomorrow, right? If I understand correctly. Okay, so this will tie into Fan Day Friday tomorrow. Let's see here. Which one is it? Right here.
Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed.
Oh, he fucked him up, dude. He showed right up and filmed his ass in front of his house.
That's funny.
Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed.
Are trying to cause a rise or get attention.
So cultivate and plant the seed.
So there you go. What'd you guys think of the new edit? I didn't spend too long putting that together, but yes, the stream is sponsored by Starbucks. Starbucks, the unofficial sponsor of this show. All right, let's get into just a few more videos. Let's put this other banner back up. I don't think we're doing anything naughty tonight. I don't think we have any naughty words planned for tonight, so we should be good with putting some logos up, right? But here we go. This is what we're going to get into, criminalizing the camera, right? Okay, so here we go. This is this will make sense in a second. Oh, Fan Day Friday tomorrow. We're going to start off with this. Give me just a second here. Bear with me. This is what we're going to start off with tomorrow for Fan Day Friday and do a little breakdown.
A Utica detective has been suspended and an investigation opened after an altercation with two men Wednesday is caught on tape. Jason Colthorpe is live in Utica tonight. Jason, that video has now gone viral and has been seen more than 50,000 times since it was posted just last night.
Yeah, those views seem to be just ticking up.
Those views do seem to be ticking up, don't they? And why? Well, here, let's ask the people at the news.
They call themselves First Amendment auditors and citizen journalists. They're on social media and known for getting in people's faces. Well, now the state is instructing its 50,000 employees on how to respond to these types of verbal attacks. But we also wanted to hear from the people responsible for these so-called fraudits. So tonight, a popular social media star is opening up to 7 Action News reporter Jim Kurtzner about what's at stake.
Please don't. Oh, they're grabbing me. They're grabbing me. Am I being detained?
Hey, don't grab me, dude. Get out of here. I want to too.
You made contact with me. What's your name and badge number, officer?
Hey, do you want to tell me your name? Because I'll be happy to help you out.
There you go, guys. The walk of shame.
Freedom News Now has been posting videos for several years. The person behind it, Justin McDermott.
There has never been a better time than now to do your First Amendment audit.
Can you tell me what you're doing? Anything? We had somebody calling about you being out here.
This video is from 2017. McDermott is outside the Warren Tank Plant, a federal contractor. He's wearing a full face mask long before COVID, refusing to answer questions about who he is, why he's there, and if he has any weapons.
I mean, these people present themselves. I mean, officers are killed in the line of duty trying to do exactly what Officer Reed and those officers were doing.
Are they asking legitimate questions?
Oftentimes they are legitimate questions, and I'm okay with questions from officers, and my auditing style has changed throughout the years.
There's absolutely no doubt that he was attempting to provoke the officers.
Stop, please don't.
Oh, they're grabbing me. They're grabbing me. Am I being detained?
The police commissioner says the plan can be to get even more.
File a lawsuit. They're going to get a settlement from a city. They're possibly going to get the officer terminated.
The trend prompted this email to go out to
No,
50,000
nobody's
state
gonna terminate
employees,
that
telling
officer.
them how to uphold the general rights of the public while remaining vigilant for suspicious behavior. The email continues. The encounters often include behavior that's designed to provoke a reaction that could be viewed as a violation of First Amendment rights. Do you believe that some behavior is deliberately
MCC is in here too. We don't have to keep listening
Next
to Freedom
question.
News Now, but
The email continues. The most important thing to do is to remain calm and pleasant.
oh, look at
Hey,
that.
do you want to tell me your name? Because I'll be happy to help you out.
In another video outside a prison in Adrian, McDermott is shooting video with 2 cameras when he's approached first by prison officials and says this.
They abuse their inmates every day. Most of them abuse their wives.
You don't know that when you're out there.
Yeah, they don't know any of that about myself either.
Get this, McDermott says this is the key to his First Amendment audits.
There's nothing to hide, then there should be nothing to fear.
At the end of his videos, when police walk away, he draws conclusions, often calling them First Amendment fails.
There goes the walk of shame, guys. These are YouTube channels. Part of it is entertainment value.
Hey, don't grab me, dude. Get out of here.
A couple of
Here's
weeks ago,
MCC
another team
frickin'.
of 3 First Amendment auditors were confronted by the Saginaw County Undersheriff. He says he wanted to get video of their faces. This was their
What a
second
whack
visit
job.
to that department. Their first visit was in the lobby a few days earlier, shooting videos through windows. The undersheriff says several young women employees are inside.
Extremely uncomfortable because they want to know,
my
you know,
goodness.
why is this guy recording me and what are they going to do with the recordings of me?
After this incident, the
cares?
men filed a complaint with Michigan State Police. The undersheriff says that made a record of who they are.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Go ahead,
there's-
do your investigation. I went out there so that if something were to happen to one of my employees, I can say these 3 gentlemen were here.
I told the undersheriff about my questions and lack of answers from Justin McDermott.
They believe it only works one way. If they're truly the media, then aren't they subject to the same rules as what apply to you?
McDermott tells me he posts his videos for comments and discussion. He sells merchandise. He seeks subscribers. He wants to grow his online audience. It is all his First Amendment right. In Warren, Jim Kurtzner, 7 Action News.
We definitely want to grow our sphere of influence here. That's no secret, right? How state is asking employees to handle so-called First Amendment auditors. Now, and what I find more interesting than anything else in this comment, let me see if I can find it right here. Let's see. They are on social media. They are in your face. I'm reading down in the description. They are on social media. They are in your face, and more people are doing it. More people are doing it. That's where it really right. So more people are doing it. I would agree with that comment. That's a claim, and I would agree with that trend. So pick up cameras, start recording police. Right. We did the tribute to Jay from Jay's Surreal Camera the other night. If you didn't see that, go ahead and there's GoFundMe information and stuff in there, all kinds of good stuff. But anyways, where I was going with that, right? More and more people are picking up cameras, and that was one thing that Jay said, right? Let's put this back up one more time because you can see for yourself. Hold on. Oh boy, here we go. Right, I always film the police right down there. So right down there is the message from that, and also that that news clip, right? So yes, today. Let's go ahead and put our unofficial sponsor. I'd be happy to have a full sponsor from Starbucks Coffee. Discuss that logo. I figured we could maybe discuss that logo at some time because I think Paul from Paul Enslaved wanted to really go in depth with that logo. I see nothing wrong with it. Even if it's a controversial logo, wouldn't that be the point of having a controversial logo, to have people talk about it? So that's a talking point in and of itself, is the Starbucks logo. This is unofficially sponsored by Starbucks. You know, we are broken system, broken trust in here. But that doesn't stop us. Look up to your right. That doesn't stop us from doing that, right? So go ahead and get you a Starbucks. Go visit a barista. If you see a cop there, record a conversation. Just ask them a simple question like, why are you tickling your piggy tits? No. Don't ask them why they're tickling their piggy tits. Oh, that reminds me. Hold on. I got a great video for you. If you're watching this on a replay, like I said, you tuned in to a good episode because I found this to be quite funny. Oh, let me get it loaded up for you. I apologize, guys. I do not have this one loaded up for you, and I feel ashamed of myself. You know why? Because it is very funny. Oh, I uploaded a court date video. It's pretty quick. It's like quick and to the point. So if you guys can check that out, that would be appreciated. Just give it a click. That's all you got to do to support the channel. Support information is scrolling across the bottom. Hit the like button, please. Let's see. Oh, I gotta delete a video before I upload another one. Man, we're stocked full of content over here. That's what we are. We are stock full of original content. But of course, when I'm creating content, I stumble across other people's content, and I really dig some of the other content that I see. And so I figured I would try to share one example of what I'm talking about so you don't think I'm just babbling to you. Again, if you're watching this on a replay, you're like, okay, hurry up, get to the goods. Get to the goods. But if you guys can give me a quick like coming in, I don't have a main topic to have a like to or like goal anyways for the amount of likes. Whatever I'm trying to say right now. Let's see. All right. We're almost loaded up. We are almost loaded up. If you have that conversation at a Starbucks and you ask, why are you tickling your piggy tits? That's not a Starbucks approved joke. That is definitely not Starbucks approved. Here, let me get that down and let me put the BSBT logo back up there before. I definitely would never get offered a sponsorship, right? So, but anyways, here we go. Speaking of tickling your piggy tits, here we go.
A lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? Well, both me and my husband are cops, and so a lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? A lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh?
So anyways, I don't know what you guys thought of that. I thought it was pretty hilarious. When it plays on loop, it gets even funnier. So we're going to play this on loop for just a minute. I hope you like it as much as I did. If I like it, I think everybody else will like it. So here we go.
A lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? Well, both me and my husband are cops, and so a lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? A lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? A lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? Well, both me and my husband are cops, and so a lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? A lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh? A lot of people call cops pigs. What? Yeah, I know. Piggies, huh?
So anyways, that lady's TikTok was embedded into that video. So if you guys like it, you can go check it out. She's got some other videos. But when I saw that, I thought that was absolutely hysterical. So I hope I didn't lose anybody looping that. But I thought the loop was great. Right? So anyways, let's come back to this. Let's just play the beginning of this. Whoa, shoot. What am I doing? Here we go. Let's just put this up and then play you the video again and then talk about criminalizing the camera. And I'm going to get my court date thing up here so I can show you guys the video that I made. I think it's pretty great for a court date video anyways. I mean, you do what you got to do with court date video. But anyways, let's see. I'll get it loaded up for you guys. Oh shoot, that's not the one. All right, it's on its way up. It's on its way up. Am I missing anybody in chat? Looks like we only got 6 people here. Tapatios, appreciate you coming in. Cammed up Caveman, if you're still in here. Quokka, let's see. Free Thinker, thank you. Erica, you're sick. Thank you for that. Yep, that's gaslighting when somebody says, "Oh, you're crazy." Gaslighting technique, right? Anyways, let's see. Let's bring this back down and just play a couple of the videos. Well, you saw the piggy one. I thought that one was pretty great. And then we got this one. And then we're going to play this on loop, and then I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I was only planning on going for like a half hour tonight. So we'll play this a little bit, and then we'll see you tomorrow night for Fan Day Friday.
Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed.
Oh, he fucked him up, dude. He showed right up and filmed his ass in front of his house.
That's funny.
Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed.
Are trying to cause a rise or get attention.
Let me tell you how is all you need. So cultivate and plant the seed. 'Cause victory is all you need. So cultivate and plant the seed. 'Cause victory is all you need. So cultivate and plant the seed. 'Cause victory is all you need. So cultivate.
So anyways, those are the videos that I put together. I hope you guys like them, and then we'll play this one and talk about Fan Day Friday, get the everybody's favorite cop watches. Oh, we'll talk about this. This is the breakdown we're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah, what'd you pull us over for then? I'm not answering. Oh, okay. You don't have a reason. You don't have. Well, when you pull somebody over, you have to tell them what you pulled them over for. So if you don't have articulable suspicion, we got a complaint that there's a threat. I don't care. So yeah, I don't care what he said. People don't lie. People, no, you won't. Oh no, you will not. You ain't getting my ID, numbnuts. You ain't getting my ID, numbnuts. I promise you.
That guy called a bunch of armed gunmen out here for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Oh, he called him and said we was making threats. Even though we got it all on video, nobody ever threatened anybody.
That's actually a good point. Hey, officer, I want to complain that guy over there called a bunch of a gaggle of armed gunmen like you out here. That's my complaint.
I promise you.
I want to complain that guy called a bunch of armed gunmen out here for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Oh, he called him and said we was making threats. Even though we got it all on video, nobody ever threatened anybody.
That's actually a good point. Hey, officer, I want to complain that guy over there called a bunch of a gaggle of armed gunmen like you out here. That's my complaint.
So I'm glad Brian agreed that that was a really good point. When you're in the heat of the moment, sometimes you're not thinking clearly, but we're going to get into this. I'll leave you guys with this with a cliffhanger, and then we'll break it down a little bit tomorrow, because I definitely enjoy seeing a guy like Brian laugh, a guy I have tremendous respect for on Here's the Deal. Let's see if I can get this playing, and then we'll get out of here for the night. Like I said, I didn't plan on going long, but this is what we're talking about tomorrow. We'll leave it here and then springboard with this tomorrow, Fan Day Friday.
Yeah, what'd you pull us over for then? I'm not answering. Oh, okay. You don't have a reason. You don't have. Well, when you pull somebody over, you have to tell them what you pulled them over for. So if you don't have articulable suspicion, we got a complaint that there's a threat. I don't care. So yeah, I don't care what he said. People don't lie. People, no, you won't. Oh no, you will not. You ain't getting my ID, numbnuts. You ain't getting my ID, numbnuts. I promise you.
I want to complain that guy called a bunch of armed gunmen out here for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. Oh, he called him and said we was making threats. Even though we got it all on video, nobody ever threatened anybody.
That's actually a good point. Hey, officer, I want to complain that guy over there called a bunch of a gaggle of armed gunmen like you out here. That's my complaint.
Yes or no?
Do you? It's none of your business.
I don't answer your questions either. You must think I'm fucking stupid.
You are fucking stupid.
I don't answer your questions either.
They don't think you're stupid. You've already made it clear you're stupid.
You're doing a good enough job proving that right now.
Yeah, he done proved how stupid he is.
You guys are brilliant.
Obviously smarter than you are.
Please tell me you are not a detective.
Oh, he is. He's a detective.
No, tell me.
He inspects dicks.
Detectives are supposed to be a little smarter than
He detects dicks.
God, these guys are over the top, man.
No, I don't have to move.
Put the dog back on a leash.
Yeah, put him on a leash.
Oh, now you're trying to solve me with a car?
Yeah. Yeah, what'd you pull us over for then?
I'm not answering.
Oh, okay. You don't have a reason. You don't have. Well, when you pull somebody over, you have to tell them what you.
All right, so I think you get the point, right? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Definitely loved seeing Brian laugh. And then what we came in with is to play that. I meant to put that banner back up, but if you can, go make a little donation. I'll put this up real quick because we did this stream the other night. Let me see if I can find it. It's in here somewhere, I promise. Where are you? There we go. Always record the police. There we go. Always film the police, right? anyways, that's what I had for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed that quick, short, to the point. And then maybe we'll do some panels in the future and see what we can talk about. But with the Morabito thing, right? Tomorrow, Fan Day Friday, and I'll play all the favorite cop watches from this channel. Maybe I can get a couple, favorites in the comments section if somebody wants to comment a video they want to check out on a Fan Day Friday that we can all watch together. I'd appreciate it. This is what I would say to Morabito.
I am I am responsible for me. I am responsible for me.
Yo, hello, Mr. Brown. Hello, Mr. Brown. Hello, Mr. Brown.
Can you do it with me? I am responsible for me. I am responsible for me, and you are responsible for you.
That's what I would say to Mr. Morabito, right? All right, guys. We can go on and get on out of here, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow for Fan Day Friday. Let's see. We'll end with this on loop. We'll loop this for about 2 minutes. So the 5 whole people that are in here, man, I love you guys. Thank you for being in here. The 6 whole people now, thank you for being here. Let's get the love in the chat and love in the room. I'm going to end you guys with this for, well, you only need a minute if there's 6 of you in here. So say your goodbyes in chat. We'll loop this for about 2 minutes, and then we'll get out of here. Really? Really? You know what I could have played today? This is what I could have played. This is what I could have played, but I didn't. Okay?
Are trying to cause a rise or get attention or
How do you know what I'm
dox
trying
people.
to do?
Okay, so tell me. That's why I said, why are you doxing people?
So you know how the rest of that video plays out, right? You know how I was tempted to play that on loop tonight, that video. That's on Facebook. It's not on the YouTubes, and it's not on the YouTubes for a reason, right? Just like my conversation this morning with that lady from Friend of the Court. It's staying off of YouTube. Got it? Everything stays off YouTube until I see my kids. But then when I see my kids, I tell you, it's not going to be pretty for certain people, right? It's not going to be pretty. So let's see. Let's put this other comment back up because, I was going to get out of here. I really was going to get out of here. But see this? Remember that? He will never give up. He will never give up. Who is he? I'm guessing he is me. Will never give up. You said it yourself. You wouldn't have said it if you didn't believe it, correct? You would not have said it if you don't believe it. And you actually wrote it out. You had time to, you invited me here last night. Okay, well, do you want to come up? Hold on. Oh, geez, I got people dinging me now. Now, hold on. Haven't you already shown this video? Yes, I showed it on my... Listen, guys. Hey, what's up, John Denicola? Thank you for coming in. Paul Carroll, am I late to the party? No, the party was... I was just getting ready to shut the party down. We had like a poor, sweet angel named Lillian that had to have help with her little twist ties on her top. We were going to close with that for a couple minutes. So, the pervy like accusation would stick, right? So the big perv accusation, right? Show the entire chat thread with Marine's comment. Well, I don't have the whole thing. Jeez, oh Pete's. Here, Lillian. Here's this. See, I get in trouble with people for even offering to do this. But this is what a nice gentleman I am. Watch. Here we go. Okay? You can come on up and you can explain whatever you'd like to explain. I don't silence you on this channel. I mean, I block you from time to time until you learn how to act right. That's about it. I was going to put a screenshot up for you guys. I kind of showed you. Oh, yeah, here. See, I could do stuff like this, Lillian, but then I feel, oh.
What up?
Everybody, welcome Wolvie to the show. What up, Wolvie?
What's happening?
Ah, shit. What are you up
What,
to?
I don't got no audio?
You got audio? Can you hear me? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Am I muted or can you hear? You can hear me, yeah.
Everything's fine.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, I just like the title. I just wanted to come up and reinforce that title that you have up there, that you have pinned. Never call the cops, not even on your worst enemy.
Yeah. Tell me about it, right?
You know, I just want to comment and I'm going to bounce, but
yeah.
I just came from a certain family member's house, and my family member warned me about parking at a certain spot where across the street is a parking lot where we could have parked when we have more people, when this person has visitors. And unfortunately, the city of Taylor has a big racket on it with area towing. If you even park over there, they don't even, the area towing just makes the rounds. They see it in there, man. Boom, they'll just tow them out. You know?
Yeah.
And so then you got a neighbor on both sides that warned this particular person I'm talking about, and said that they would call the cops if we parked where we parked before, which it's not bothering nobody, and it's out there on public land, right between the sidewalk and the street. They don't like that idea, and you know they think they're uppity. I don't know why they think they're so uppity, but the fact of the matter is that my mom is one of the sweetest people you can meet on this planet, dude. I'm not saying it because she's my mom. I'm just saying it. That's just who she is. And for somebody to tell my mother, that they will call the law on her, being neighbors with her for over 50 fucking years plus, okay? And to have the audacity to say they're going to call the cops on her?
Yeah, tell me about it. Anybody that calls like cops or CPS, especially without telling you or warning, like especially if somebody just does it, you know, out of the blue, just like without warning, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but who the fuck are they to even think about? Hold up, that's public property, right? Where it ain't bothering nobody, all right? It ain't hurting nothing, right? In the wintertime, it's solid ground, and you cannot hurt that ground. Right, unless it's muddy. So when this person has so many visitors, just because the owner of the house happens to be my mother, doesn't mean that you are entitled to get that car moved. I don't know why people think they have that entitlement. I don't get it. I mean, who am I to tell my neighbor to do what property they maintain?
Thy bidding? Don't
You
do thy
know,
bidding?
who
Yeah,
who are they? Who are they? Who are they to say, well, I will call the law and I will get you penalized? And you know,
cop
and
callers, man. Cop callers
that's a threat.
are bad. John Denicola says, "What's up, Wolvie?"
Yeah, I said what's up back to him.
Oh, okay, right on, right on.
And so the point I'm making is like, look, if you're gonna call the law on me, I would rather you punch me in the face and let's just go at it and may the best man win than you call the law on me.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
what I did specifically, I can get into on a later show. I'm not even like I'm debating. I'll get in a lot of trouble and get a lot of zaps on my collar if I go into detail with some of this stuff. So I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it at what I left it at tonight.
Right, right.
With any luck, it goes away. This stream's sponsored unofficially by Starbucks, but go ahead and visit a barista at your local Starbucks. Wolfie would go there every day and buy me a coffee, wouldn't you?
I don't know why I wouldn't.
Right, exactly. See? Man, we love this Brandon shit. This Brandon shit is for me, right? All right, so we're back again. All right, so hey, did you see any of what I started up with, the Channel 7 thing and the Channel 4 thing? That's what we're talking about.
Man, I was
tomorrow.
just in between origin and destination. Turn you on.
You're in between an orgy and a destination.
Yeah, what he said.
Yuck, Starbucks. Lillian. Okay, well, Lillian wanted to come up if you hop down, Wolvie. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings.
Yeah,
but...
no, I want to go down. I'll go down later.
Okay. Yeah, have a good one. Thanks for coming up. There you go, Lillian. Wolvie left. We're either shutting this thing down or you can come up to have a logical conversation. A logical one where I'm not being asked a zillion questions and I don't even get the courtesy of getting a question answered. Jeez, oh, Pete, that's so frustrating. Do you know how to feel so frustrated, like the most frustrated you've ever felt? Wait, what would you do if someone put up an illicit, like, nudity billboard on their property? I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? I don't know how that came up, but Lillian, that little thing is in the chat right there. Go ahead and come on, clickety-clack on up here. Clickety-clackety up here. You know, if you're not scared, if you're scared, then just say you're scared and you don't have to come up. It'll be painless. I'm not going to mess with you. If you're polite enough to come up onto the panel, I'll treat you with courtesy and respect while you're up on the panel. Okay? I promise. Let's get rid of a couple of these overlays. We'll give it a few more minutes. James Freeman might come up. Let's put that overlay up until we get something up here. Hopefully somebody's in the basement by the time I'm done with this. That would be sweet. I put the link in there, Lillian. You said you were going to come up here. You said you would come up here when Wolvie hopped down. Otherwise, we're going with the other Lillian. I've got a Lillian here that's willing to make an appearance. So it's either you or this Lillian. It's up to you. Of course I would be nice. Of course I would be nice. Why wouldn't I be nice? Right, exactly. You don't call the police on people. That's just not a cool thing to do. You don't call armed men with guns. And I mean, Brian said it perfect. He's like, hey, oh, let's see who we have. We've got the porn blocker up. K1A is my porn blocker. We have Lillian in the house. Everybody say hello to Lillian. Hi, Lillian.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're in the show.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me and inviting me.
You're welcome. Let me get rid of this overlay. And then
Do you
I
have a
just wanted
better
to make,
picture than K Daddy, or am I just gonna stare at K Daddy all night, Josh?
oh, we can stare at K Daddy. Oh, I've got, hold on. You asked for it and you ask and you shall receive. Do you remember making that comment though, that I would never give up?
I don't remember what that's a part of. Show me the entire chat. I don't know what I was responding to, Josh, so I don't know what that's in regards to.
You just said I will never give up. Do you remember
Well,
when Brendan said to catch a hot fentanyl pack? What do you think of that one?
I don't remember that.
Well, can you see on your screen?
Well, who was Brendan referring to? This is the thing, like, they are not saying who specifically
He's
they are
referring to
talking
me.
about.
He
How do you
wants to
know
kill
that?
me because he was
Josh,
talking
okay.
about me.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
Listen,
it's pretty obvious.
Josh, like, you know how difficult this is for me, okay?
I know you don't want to be put in the middle, right?
Josh, listen, just leave the
I used
family
to look,
out.
this is stuff that I used
Yeah.
to do. I used to play Wheel of Fortune and just like,
Yeah.
that's what I used to do with my time. I used to play Wheel of Fortune,
Then
like
play
full
Wheel
time.
of Fortune. That sounds so much more fun than having internet drama.
Well, I'm not going to put the phone call with friend of the court on here this morning, but I did have to warn them of a few things. And I'm sure Erica
Well,
went in there
okay,
with her book of
Josh,
information. You don't want to
I
be in the middle, but you insert yourself. You take my sister's side, and
no.
you said you were going to testify
Josh,
against.
we've talked about this before. You think I take your sister's side, and I have told you all that matters is that the kids are taken care of.
Well, and what do you say? Kids are taken care of.
Listen, you are plucking people into sides. We had this conversation the other night on Joe's stream, and you plucked me into the side of a dog watcher, watchdog. I'm sorry, I don't remember what you call it.
You're a watchdog. You're a watchdog sympathizer. That's what you are, and that's like the
I'm
worst
not
kind of sympathy. It's
though.
almost like
No.
you'd be like a colonialist sympathizer. You would have been giving up Anne Frank. You would have been
Yeah,
giving her
so
up
let's
instead of protecting her.
awesome topic. Let's talk about that. So remember,
Yeah.
I had to flee a fucking country so me and my family wouldn't be murdered.
I mean, I understand that about you.
So people had to sneak me out. Remember, Josh, my mom will not tell me the story of how we got out of that country. She will not tell me. Right. So if we're looking at it that way, and also I had family in Poland who was put, like my grandmother was put on a train to Siberia to go to concentration camp for kids. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's
So
why I'm saying like I'm not.
I've lived both sides of that, being a survivor, and I just
Well,
think
then
that
you should be advocating more and more on the side of free speech and the side that
Josh, I
I'm fighting
am.
on. So we're on the same side, but you treat me like an enemy?
Yeah, I'm not treating you like an enemy. You are
You
casting
treated me
me
like an
into
enemy
groups.
apparently since you held a grudge against me because of like whatever happened with our relationship. I always thought you were a cool person and things just didn't work
Josh,
out.
and that's where I was trying to be mature. Things didn't work out. And I
Yeah.
just left it at that.
And
Like, we don't have to go.
Mike's an awesome guy and Mike's
He
cool.
is.
He's
Thank
like
you. You're right. You're right,
he's in
Josh. Thank
favor
you.
he's in favor of people getting along and having disagreements and like still getting
And
along.
I am too. And when you talk about the First Amendment, that's where
I
I
am
get
kind of a
a
First
little
Amendment expert
emotional.
at this point.
Josh, we used to have I don't want to say great because you're annoying. So things don't get so great, right? So let's put it into perspective and say, when you were asking me if I would want to go cop watching with you, what was my response to you?
You're like, fuck off.
Right. But
Yeah,
that's because, and that's okay that I say that. I could use my First Amendment to say that, but you're also very pushy. So it's not like you asked me more than once.
Pushy? I am never pushy.
Oh, never. You're so right,
What?
Josh. No, what is that?
When have I
What
ever
is
been
that?
pushy?
Oh, watch out. The wind will blow you over, right, Josh?
Yeah, this stream is sponsored by Cash App, by the way. Do you see the Cash App in the corner?
I have no idea. about any of that. I'm sorry.
And
I have no
if
clue.
if you're gonna bring your potty mouth up here, do you see to your upper right? Can you even see your screen at all?
Yes, I can, but it says
Okay.
parental advisory.
Yeah, for your potty mouth, because you get a potty mouth on you. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So I
I
have to
thought
put
you
that up
yeah,
there.
well, I thought you're not monetized and it doesn't matter what
Yeah,
happens
this
or what music you use or anything.
yeah,
So,
that's true. Yeah,
okay,
it goes
okay.
to the
So does it
copyright
matter
owner.
if I cuss then?
Yeah, you can cuss all you want. You can say shit, fuck, damn, shit a bitter, whatever you want to say.
Okay. All right. But can I just
Hey,
say, yeah,
this is
can I
the
just
type
go
of
back to
content.
this?
Okay.
I just want to go back to when we used to message each other.
Yeah.
My response to you was no, but also I have things that I believe in and want to fight for. And just because we're not fighting for the same thing doesn't mean either you or I are wrong or right.
Yeah, and we don't have to link up or do jack shit together. I'm just saying, I always thought we were,
Yeah,
pretty cool.
but no, but what I'm trying to say is from those discussions, you knew where I was in respect to police. You know how I
Okay,
feel
well
about
let
the
me
police,
ask you
okay?
this, right?
Okay, go
Let
ahead.
me ask you this.
Go
So,
ahead.
like when I was messaging you and I said, "Hey, give me your address. I'll send CPS there tomorrow."
That's not cool. I told
Why didn't you
you.
message? But why didn't you message me back and be, "What did you mean when you said that?" Because I would have said, because somebody texted me that
I
and it
did.
freaked me out. Somebody texted me that CPS was coming to the house. I felt the same fear as what you probably felt.
Okay,
You didn't
but
have to call the
Josh,
police. You could have called me.
but also you didn't have to threaten me for
You
no
took that as a threat,
reason.
right? We're in agreement. You took it as a threat.
What did you mean by it then? If you didn't mean it to
I
be a
meant
threat,
I meant for you
if
to
you didn't
call me
mean
and say,
for
"What are you talking about?" Because that's what happened with me. That's what happened to me.
Josh, I didn't want to talk to you.
Okay, well then why didn't you just say I don't want to talk to you?
I did, and that's why I blocked you.
Oh my goodness, but we had been talking like for a couple months leading up to that. I was like, "Oh, cool. You're the you were the first
We
person
were.
comment. Listen, you were the
Yeah.
first person to comment on
About
this
your
flag
flag.
photo."
Yes. Because
Yeah.
Josh, I know and I understand. And that's where I'm saying when you typecast people into certain categories, like I am not a watchdog. I do not
You're a woman.
embody.
You're a woman and you're a pain
That's
in my
great.
ass.
Well, I mean, you're a man and you're a pain in my ass. So what?
See, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, because you choose to be a pain in my ass, I have to be a pain in your ass, Josh.
You have to.
I have to. Do you
You
have to be a pain in my ass?
Yes,
No,
apparently.
no, you don't. Okay,
I do.
listen, you're getting too like you're gonna lose your crowd. Let's talk about politics or something because
Well, politics is
Wolverine's
kind of
hearing
silly.
manipulation. And now I know where he gets the manipulation. What are you talking about, Wolverine? Trying to get you to say things that will enable the other side to embrace her even more. Or you could
See,
say, I do, Wolvie, I hate cops. I do not like bad cops. One of my best friends is a prominent lawyer in the Detroit area, and he does civil rights. He primarily is representing people in police battery and abuse cases. He won the biggest settlement for civil rights police battery. I'm sorry, I don't know the legal jargon in Michigan.
it's legalese. It's called legalese. That's the language they speak in court.
It's to me, it's jargon. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's written. It's the written wording. But when you're saying it on
Right. It's a
record, and you're saying, yeah,
subspecialty. I would not know subspecialty language.
I only speak a little bit. I mean, I know like pro se is supposed to be like representing yourself, which is kind of silly to
Yeah,
say.
I mean, I
Yeah.
could get the Latin words because I had to study Latin, but I'm not gonna use it for, to sound smart because I don't know
Yeah,
what
and
the fuck
plus
I'm
it makes
talking
your.
about. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, so I'm not gonna use those
Well, no, you know
words.
what you're talking about. It's just when you talk legalese, then you lose the crowd. Nobody wants to lose the crowd. It's all about, like people said, it's
Mhm.
the sex,
I
drugs,
think
and
you
rock and
lost.
roll.
I think you lost Paul Carroll though. He
Did you
says,
see the
"Were you?"
discussion I had with Mr. Carroll?
No, when? I know. So the thing I know about Mr. Carroll is he is so patient and so willing to
What do
have
you
a
think I've been?
conversation.
What do you think I've been
No,
as far as
and I'm saying,
patient and
Josh, I'm
willing?
talking about Mr. Carroll. I'm not talking about you right now. I'm talking
Okay,
about Mr.
I've been.
Carroll. So I admire that about him because he is a legal expert in certain areas that you have interest in, and he's trying to have that dialogue, right? And he's not trying to do it from a preaching perspective, Josh. He's also trying to learn from you so he could understand what you're
A
going
little bit
through.
about
Or
law and the foundational law and like stuff like that, where it's really important, not with all the statutes and the codes that criminalize everything, where a cop can look through
Josh,
it and
you
find
have I'm
five.
sorry, you have the 10th fucking amendment that
The 10th
bestows
Amendment
law
doesn't.
to the
Okay,
state, and
that's
the
9
state
amendments
bestows
away
law
from the First
to
Amendment.
local.
That 10th Amendment is like so distant from the First Amendment. That 10th Amendment is
You're
looking at the
right,
First
because
Amendment
1
like,
plus
damn.
9 is 10. It's not close. What's your point?
My point is that First Amendment is standing there going, listen, I'm first for a reason. And you have to have free speech because free speech is the most important.
Well, of
Because
course
without
they
free
had.
thought, you can't have a corrective mechanism.
Okay, Josh.
What?
It's the first, but you would really be able to make one amendment the best or superior to other amendments?
Well, don't
Would
you
you
have
really
to
do
put them in
that?
a hierarchy? You have to put them in a hierarchy. I
So
mean, I
you
think in
think
Canada,
that you think they put it in prioritization? Is that what you're saying? Can someone please provide evidence? Was the Constitution written with the amendments in list of priority?
I don't think anybody is, I mean, I think so, but that's an opinion. And of course, feel free if anybody else has another opinion. I believe they were.
Hey,
I
just for
believe the fourth.
fun. Sorry, just for fun's here. Shout out to Just for Fun.
Why are we shouting out Josh for fun?
It's just for fun.
Josh for fun.
No. You see, you make everything about yourself. Okay, sorry. Paul
Wait,
Carroll.
who was that?
Legalese is not
Who
a real
was that?
language.
Was that you?
What? Why are you interrupting me? I'm reading Paul Carroll right now.
You said it like you're reading Shakespeare. Or
I love
something
Shakespeare.
Or
yeah.
Kierkegaard.
No.
Right?
What I want to read
I
about
can't
Paul
understand
Carroll.
Kierkegaard worth
Stop.
of shit. I tried understanding
Kierkegaard.
Kierkegaard.
Yeah, and I'm the one that told you about him, right?
Yeah, I can't understand that shit.
Yeah,
That goes
and
right
who
over
else
my
did
head,
I
just
tell
like
you?
trust
Who
law.
else did I tell you about, Josh?
A
Did I
lot
tell
of
you
people.
about Nietzsche, right? Do you want to get
No,
philosophical?
Nietzsche is pretty awesome. Like that
Yeah,
dude was like such a deep thinker. It's ridiculous. He makes me feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Well,
Hold
I mean,
on. No. I was getting really excited because I was going to read what Paul Carroll said because it's about language and speech. So
do you want me to put it back up there?
It's the one about. Hold on.
Legalese is not a real language.
Yes.
We speak
Yes.
English with Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I love that. Because you know how I feel about languages.
Idioms. What are you trying to call me, Mr. Carroll?
Yeah.
Do you see how I do that?
Does
Lillian,
Paul want to come up? I'll get down so Paul could come up.
Well, we have room
I like
on this
Paul.
panel. Yeah, we have room on this panel for him and me and you. And you know what I would really like to do? I'd like to be the moderator.
I don't want to know what you'd really like to do, Josh. I don't.
Oh, why do you have to say it like that?
Why not?
I know. Mr. Carroll, would you like to come up here?
I would love for him. And I'm more than willing to get down if he doesn't want to be on panel, but I just want to say hello to him and give him
you don't
some
want to talk
gratitude.
to Mr. Carroll?
No, I would love to talk to him, but I'm saying if he doesn't want to be on panel with me, I'll respect that. I'll get down.
Yeah, he's all right. You know what I'm saying? He's all right.
He's more than all right. If anyone has to deal with you, Josh, they're more than fucking all right.
I don't twist anybody's arm to come up here, and I told you I'd be nice to you, and what have I been to you?
You've been fairly nice to me, Josh. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. hmm
Whatever. Get Mr. Carroll so I don't have to talk to you.
Or does somebody else want to come up and take on the Lillian and see what you can rile up with her?
No, because I'm not here. I just
You're not
came
here to
up.
get your feathers ruffled?
No, it takes a lot to get my feathers ruffled.
Well, while we're waiting for Mr. Carroll here, we can make this so it's less comfortable because I did add this the other day, and you'll kind of understand.
Are you gonna play videos? I don't want to sit here and see a
No, you're not gonna have to
video.
sit here and listen to a bunch of videos.
Good.
Hold on, I gotta add the overlay. Do you want to say hi to everybody in chat? This is how you do a live show, by the way. And I can hear you getting nervous on other panels, and I think it's kind of cute that you get nervous.
Josh, don't.
I'm not trying.
Please.
I'm not trying to say it like that. I'm just saying, like, I find it adorable that.
Because I don't. Josh, please don't be creepy.
I'm not being creepy.
I think I know you think you're being flattering, but in some circumstances, some women don't want to hear some things from some men.
I thought I was just trying to be nice.
Okay, that's fine, but you don't have to be that nice.
Should I be mean?
No.
Okay. How should I be?
Yeah, no. Listen, so
are you Super Callie? Are you gonna come out of the closet as Super Callie or no?
No.
You're not gonna come out of the closet that you're Super Callie? But you are Super Callie.
I am not.
It has Callie in the name. And then here, do you want
It's a long freaking word, Josh. It has a lot of things in its name. I don't know.
That's what I would say too if I was trying to throw me off the scent.
You would?
Yeah, I would.
Cool.
I'm trying to pull up the Facebook comments because I had them loaded up. Like I load up so much crap for a show, and then I
sorry guys.
Where it's all at.
I don't have my glasses. I can't read the chat. Is Mr. Carroll not coming then?
I don't know. We'll see. Nobody's in the basement yet. Mr. Carroll, will you come please rescue this damsel in distress because she needs a real man to talk to. I'm up here.
Mayday, mayday.
Right. All right.
Somebody
so here,
mayday me.
This is bringing it back right here to where this whole channel kind of started. If you didn't notice, right?
What channel?
The channel that you're on right now.
Oh,
what channel?
I'm not. Are you sharing something? I'm not looking at the screen.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it's a Facebook post, and it says from December 5th, 2020, thoughts, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's all I put in the original one. And then it got taken down within an hour. Yeah. And then I had to keep reposting it. And then this is eventually what got me as a moderator in one of those chat rooms. Cool. By the way, they're uncensored chat rooms that they always get censored because you can't say somebody is like the devil, otherwise they censor your group. But
it's a private business that owns it, so of course there's going to be some sense of censorship, Josh.
Well, obviously, but I don't think that was way too overboard. Like if somebody can't put up with being called the second most powerful deity in all of existence, then they have to get thicker skin is what I'm trying to say, right?
Well, why are you calling people names then? That's the whole point.
What did I call
them? Didn't you say calling them the second highest deity?
Yeah, that's the devil.
Yeah.
If you call somebody, if I were to say Lillian is the devil, I'd be saying you were the second most powerful being ever in existence.
Okay.
That's pretty much a compliment.
I don't know. See, I think that's part of your problem, Josh. You think you pay people compliments or say the right thing, and it's really not the right thing, my friend. There you are.
See, and you're saying my friend in a sarcastic way. Do you see how you guys mess with me? I'm this way because of you.
I'm sorry. Did that mess? Okay, if it messed with you, I'm sorry. My guy. I was trying not to say my guy. Okay.
And you do it again and again.
You love it when, Josh, you love it when I say my guy.
My Gales call me my guy.
Whatever.
Okay, so look.
Okay,
this is what you said. Remember, this is what you said?
I'm not looking at the screen.
Well, I'll
What?
read it to you. Hold on.
Well,
Oh shit!
if I
kicked my
wrote
paper.
it and it's not edited or photoshopped and it has my name, I
Oh, it'll
probably
definitely
said
be
it.
photoshopped. It'll definitely be photoshopped.
Yeah, because you do, you know.
I do fucked up shit like that all the time, right? Like I
Did I
put
say
K1A's
that?
face. Oh shoot. Sorry. So, anyways, this comment right here, right? You were the first one to respond to that. So there's something in Liliana that said, hey, Josh was a decent enough guy that I'd want to make contact or comment on a thread that he said. That either sparked some interest or something.
Or
right?
I'm showing my patriotism. Because
Patriotism?
whatever you call it. I'm sorry.
I know. And the
But
English is not Lillian's first language,
no,
but
it's
she is a
not.
master at all languages.
I'm not a master at all languages.
Or a lot of
I was,
languages.
yeah, look,
Okay.
hey, that shows like that person might be a pretty good American if they know that.
Were you
That's what
trying to be a very good American?
I think I'm a pretty good American.
You think you're a pretty good American?
Yeah. Compared to other Americans.
Well, at least you knew this. At least you knew flag
Yeah,
etiquette. At
that's what I'm
least you knew
saying.
that.
Yeah, I'm a
Right?
pretty good American if I know that. Not all
Lillian, you're going to
Americans
be tickled
know.
pink. We have somebody in the basement. Hold on. Let's bring him up. Mr. Carroll, you are in the show. And this is really Mr. Carroll.
Howdy.
Hi, Mr.
Hello.
Carroll.
Oh, Lillian's going to be like all fangirl and everything with you, Mr. Carroll.
I'm not.
She sees you on Masshole. She sees you on all the other shows.
No, I think Paul is a good guy and knows his shit and is very patient and understanding. And Paul, thank you. I admire that. I admire that about you.
He's all right. He hangs out here. He's my resident attorney. He's here to tell
He
me
is
every
not
time I'm
your
wrong.
he is not your attorney.
He is here
though.
to tell me every time I am incorrect, which happens to be a lot.
Okay, could I hear some of that tonight? Because I want to ring
I'm correct
bells.
on 1% of what I say, and then I run with the 1%, right, Mr. Carroll?
I would give you
Sorry.
more credit than 1%.
There you
Well,
go. And you're
Well,
going to be in a
thank you.
clown show because that's what happens when
I
you
was
hang out
thinking
with
I would do
Josh.
this fundraiser thing where people could pay to throw tomatoes at me. Like those hecklers at the, whatchamacallit, like Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
Do you think that would fetch some money or what?
I don't know.
And then for like $10,000, you get a tomato and you can like have a Major League Baseball player pitch it at my face.
Oh, God.
It's tempting, isn't it? Lillian is tempted. That would be $10,000 well spent.
Okay, Josh.
But Mr.
All right.
Carroll, did you want to talk about the Facebook photo that Lillian was so gracious to comment on?
Well, but yeah, so that's what, so sorry, Mr. Carroll, that what segued into Josh and I messaging each other, talking about Constitution and law, because he, had an interest in talking about it. And I was like, yeah,
And I thought
I'll talk
Lillian was
about
smart, and I thought Lillian was smart, and I thought it would be an educated discussion, but everything turned into an argument. Imagine that.
it.
I mean, sometimes the line between debate and argument is thin.
Well, when it's with Josh, it's typically usually only arguments.
Do you see what I put up with?
You like all those qualifiers I put in front of that?
Yes, and look, see, this is what I am in favor of, and I've said this a billion cajillion times, so like, it's a watchdog trait to misunderstand this, so I'm kind of not getting triggered by it anymore, because that was kind of my fault.
Cool.
But discussions are always better than arguments, because an argument is to find out who is right, and a discussion is to find out what is right. I would say if we took a poll, I am in more favor of discussions than debates, unless I feel attacked.
And I will counter that by saying you are in favor of proving others are wrong and you are right.
Sometimes I still have ego problems.
I would also point out that there are instances where one side can be definitively right, and if the other side is trying to convince them that they're wrong, I mean, by that definition, it would no longer be a discussion, it would be an argument, because you are trying to convince the other person that they are not correct.
I love this guy. He knows semantics and syntax and language, and he has to be very careful with words, Josh.
Well, thank you. Oh, were you talking about me or Mr. Carroll? I'll take that as you were talking about, Mr.
I'll let the audience decide. How about that?
Well, you know, that was like I was just pitching you a softball so you can knock that puppy out of the park. And like silence, I think, hit a grand slam. So there you
this
go.
is no. The silence is because your comedy is not that great, Josh.
I think it's okay.
Well, it's not that great.
Mr. Carroll, are you gonna let her bully me like this?
I'm not bullying you. We're having a fun time, Josh.
See, why can't we all have a fun time and like hang out?
Because you have to be nice.
I've been nice. You said I was nice.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you want to have a fun time and hang out with other people, just be nice.
That brings me to Fan Day Fridays tomorrow. I'm going to be going through, you know, your favorite cop watches on this channel. Mr. Carroll, what do you think of me treating the police the way I do on the unlawful speed trap that they're running in Taylor, Michigan? What do you think about that?
I would ask what criteria you have to say that it's unlawful.
Well, they're out there in unmarked cars for public safety. If you're there for public safety, we're going to get a sign. I'm going to hang a sign that says speed trap ahead, and we'll see if they have an issue with that. Do you think the police would have an issue with that?
Well, if you are the one conducting the speed trap, they probably would, because you're not authorized to do that.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to stand there with a sign that says speed trap ahead, slow down. Do you think that would accomplish, you know, public safety?
I suppose it could, if the goal of the speed trap is to...
I support that over shoving camera
I'd be in favor of a police officer.
I will make you posters and drop them off, Josh.
Thank you. See, why can't we all be united on some of the good ideas to fix this shit, right?
Well, because you know I'm pro fixing the government. You know that I believe that we need reform and, you know, proper training for police people. But I also believe, I'm going to get into, sorry, Paul, I'm not pulling you into politics, but I also believe that we need to take that money and put it into education and social things that will help possibly lessen crime.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Well, crime prevention probably involves quite a few of the things that police are doing now for them to cut it out. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, I show
do you know how much money we spend?
Crimes?
Well, let me just make give you one example. The Hope Not Handcuffs program that I show that Kick thinks I hate, I actually don't. I use that pamphlet to point out the hypocrisy that the police don't take you to a rehab. They take you to jail almost 100% of the time. They took a dude to jail 4 days before Christmas. And then they have that Hope Not Handcuffs. I'm pointing to the hypocrisy, and Kick will try to say that I have something against that individual program. But I just am in favor of that idea. How come people can't ask me for clarification on stuff like that?
Hold on. Could I just address two things in the chat, please?
Sure.
I want to give a shout out to Rochelle because she's the only other woman here. So yay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're not recruiting Rochelle to your side. She's my YouTube wife and we are
I'm not recruiting anyone to anyone's side. Josh.
Okay.
And then I do want to comment on John DeNicola's comment there. What makes her think government is broken? I believe that there is not equity and equality within the government. And there are things that need to be changed because they are, like even the Constitution, things are antiquated.
What do you mean by antiquated? Because I have to go grab a dictionary if you're expecting to look up.
Go look it up so you'll learn what the word is.
Well, I'm kind of on a live stream right now, so can you just help?
You don't have Google at your fingertips.
Mr. Carroll, what is antiquated? Is that acquainted with something?
Generally speaking, it means out of date.
Okay. I would agree. You know what? I think a lot of man-made laws should have expiration dates. And we got Wolvie in the basement. Hold on. Oh, let me bring Wolvie up and see what he wants. Okay. Hold on.
All right.
Wolvie, you're in the show.
I just wanted to come up and nicely say hi.
Hi, Wolverine.
Oh, hi.
What's
Is that
happening?
what do I call you?
Call me Wolvie.
Wolvie. Hey, I'm Liliana.
Hi, Liliana.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine.
So if you go with him to Taylor, I want to give you guys signs to hold signs up that there's a speed trap if Josh will do it. How about that?
Well, I've already had that in the plan for a long time. I just need more participants because the 4 or 5 people, the 5 traps that they have,
yeah,
according to the Supreme Court, the
So
Supreme
what?
Court's
Tell
definition
me what
of
that. Yeah. Tell me
a
what.
speed trap is when there's a
Yeah.
dramatic drop in the speed and it's not posted. All right. And that's paraphrasing,
So
of course.
what?
I'm not quoting it. It's basically the action of not warning the driver of the difference in a traffic control device. All right. And what we have here is I showed it already. I have wrote complaints on it. I sent it to the DPW, Department of Public Works. I sent it to the mayor's office. I let the chief of detectives know, the chief of traffic know. So they're all their heads know. Okay. And they're all aware of this, and they still haven't put signage up, which is I have Rashida Tlaib looking into this, which is a congresswoman for the state of Michigan.
I know her, and I'm gonna say I love her, which is gonna out me because I know most people don't love her, but she is for the people.
Well, I happen to agree with some things, and we disagree on some things, but
that's okay. But
that's
she is
okay.
for the
All
people.
human beings.
Yeah.
That's what being human's all about. And I have no problem disagreeing with you. I was so glad to hear you say I hate bad cops. It made me feel so much better when I heard you say
No,
that.
I do. And that's what I'm trying to say. And that's why, I just don't like this YouTube shit. I get nervous when I get up here, but also I don't want to have to
You're
come
doing
up here.
fantastic tonight. You're doing
Great,
fantastic.
thanks. I don't want to have to come up here and defend myself against
You're not
certain
going
things.
to. You're not going to have to.
Well, I'm not going to attack you.
Well, but no, obviously
I'm going to take
up
your
here.
video down off Facebook too. I'm going to take that video off
Thank
Facebook.
you. Okay. Let me just finish. Okay.
Go ahead.
But like obviously, if Josh talks about me, I want people to know that what he's saying either is or is not true. And in saying that, like, I'm not a.
We worked on teenagers and did drugs in California, though. You are aware of that, right?
Josh, stop
much
interrupting. Let me just finish for Wolvie because he
go ahead.
He was talking about the hate cops comment. Okay.
Okay, I'm muting.
So thank you. Jesus. Okay. So yeah, I am not a cop dog watch, whatever you guys call it. I'm not. And Josh was painting me out to be that. I am for getting rid of bad cops. And the bad cops get rid of the good cops, which is not good. I understand the game.
It's kind of hard to do when they're all marginalized, though. And see, I know from the inside and the outside. Okay, so I've been on the outside looking in, and I've also have had the unfortunate to be, man, I got all these auditors trying to get a hold of me because they know I'm on this live chat, but I don't usually get into drama. I'm not going to get into drama. I refuse to. But what I want to make my point is to all people, I want to change the hearts and minds of men, not to argue about these things, and not to be a narcissist either and sit there and nitpick every word that I say. Listen to the narrative. Listen to the narrative of what I'm trying to say. Okay? Because I'm not being a smart ass with nobody. I don't want to be a smart ass with you. I don't even know. I don't know Paul. I don't know you. So there's no reason why I would come in with any type of bias.
But we all had common ground. Wolvie, we all had common ground where she said,
there is no bias in my heart whatsoever on anybody on this panel. Period.
Thank you.
Point blank.
Thank you.
So,
but going back to I got up here and people thought, oh, she's going to be pro, blue line. She's probably going to be this, that. I'm not. I I agree with what y'all believe in. I do. But going back to my point, I have a different approach, and y'all have a different approach. But I respect that. But that's within our 1A. I don't like Starbucks coffee.
And here's another one too.
You also have a responsibility not to abuse that 1A and put out false information on people, right? Because
well, that's when it gets into the drama. You know, I want to stay away from that part. Okay.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about that. I wasn't trying.
Yeah. You guys can talk about that somewhere else. But just even listen to me. I don't even care. The watchdogs could do 1,000 shows on me, and I wouldn't give a damn. Okay. I'm not going to pay attention to none of them because, number one, they could never legitimately tell anybody that I'm a frauditor because I don't want your money. I don't ask for money. I run my own. I pay for everything that I do. I don't go out. I don't e-bag.
I'll take it.
I don't e-bag, so I can't be a frauditor. Okay. So they could try all they want. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes there is some things that people manipulate, and in this really high anxiety YouTube streets of gaslighting, everybody don't realize that we are all Americans and we're tearing each other down. And for what? For what?
We've been fighting, and that's what I've been trying to. That's the point I've been trying to make this whole time. And people get mad at me for pointing out that we're fighting.
For what? I mean, do we really want to go? I mean, look at all these politicians, right, left. Who gives a shit about them people? The people don't give a shit about us. They don't. All they're doing is pimping out our money and telling us that the sky is green when it's always been blue. So when the light shines off the surface, it's going to reflect. And I'm just saying, look, man, I'm not the one to. I've learned a lot. I've had some bad experiences out here in these YouTube streets, and I had to defend myself. And I'm not proud of my behavior in the past, of how far I had to go to bite that ass when all I had to do was just take a giant step back and just tell everybody they're number one and just forget that they exist.
Yeah.
You know, it's that simple. If I'm not going to get along with somebody, I don't have, why come out here and patronize them?
I agree, Wolvie.
You know, that's common sense right there. And if nobody wants to abide by that, I think it would really show more responsibility. I don't care how smart you think you are, what kind of law degree you think you have. If you agree to disagree on something and you guys continue to put each other down because of it, you are no better than him. And you're in my eyes, you're making yourself, just because I even know that you might have a bigger or better education than the person that you're talking to, but it makes you just as bad as that person's ignorance, because you put the period behind bliss. And I just want people to see and open their eyes. I am not anti-cop, never have been anti-cop. If you go on my channel, I promote cops, and I get a little hell from the A1 community every now and then because of it. All right. But I promote them when they're doing right. I give them a thumbs up. I shake their hands. I get awesome interviews. I get transparency and accountability. Man, that's all I want. You know, that's all I'm there for. And it's my right to. It's my birthright. I pay just under $5,000 a year in taxes. I pay 6% sales tax, and I pay Wayne County tax. You know, and I got a tax on every goddamn thing around here. And it's sad that I'm just going to sit in my house because I got electrocuted and I can't do nothing. No, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to educate as many people as possible about the Constitution and what they can do and the difference that they can make. Because when I'm out there standing on Telegraph, I save at least $10,000 a day for people that could have got pulled over. because they're at an average of every 4 minutes, they're given a $275 ticket. And it's double fines on the other side of the street.
That's what they call road piracy.
Okay, so I know I'm making a change. I know that I've gotten blue line flags taken out of 2 departments so far, and I'm working on a 3rd and 4th right now.
We're anti-piggy here is what we are. We're anti-piggy. Cops are welcome because they don't know any better. They can be trained. But then officers are welcome here. Officers are welcome. Like if you do homicide, work, you're trying to figure out murders, stuff like that.
I just don't like to be profiled.
So
no more than anybody on this panel would like to be profiled.
Would you revise your previous statements of, quote, never call the cops to, quote, only call the cops in X, Y, and Z situations?
Okay, last time I called 911, a guy fell on a sidewalk. Let me take a crack at this one real quick.
No, you can take it, but let me hear the question.
Oh,
Can you repeat the question, please?
There are sometimes call the police.
Given the statements you just made, would you revise your previous statement of, quote, never call the cops to only call the cops in X, Y, and Z situations? If you have,
are you asking me that question?
I'm asking the panel that question.
Go ahead, Josh.
Lillian can go first.
No, I'm waiting to answer Les Hicks' question.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to get back to Les Hicks, but yeah. So you want me to take a crack at it?
Go ahead, bro. It's your show.
Let me see. Only call. Yeah, the last time I called the cops was somebody. Well, and it wasn't the cops. It was just 911 for somebody who fell on a sidewalk, bashed their head, and was unconscious. So that's like, I use emergency systems. I do, so I hope somebody would for me too if they saw me passed out unconscious on the sidewalk. So I thought I was being a good Samaritan. But I don't call, government authorities to get people in trouble for the words they say, especially when they're words that could have been clarified. And like with simple clarification.
Okay, you're going on a tangent. You're going on a tangent.
Okay. Well, we'll come back. Only call the cops. Your turn, Lillian, or Wolvie, you want to answer?
Oh, okay. So, am I supposed to answer in what situation or when the last?
Yeah, whatever's on your mind, hon. Just speak what's on your mind.
So the last time I called the cops was I was driving down my street and I saw 2 people fighting and there was blood everywhere, and I stopped and made sure everyone was okay, and I asked if anyone needed any assistance, and they said yes, and I said, would you like me to call 911? And they said yes, and I called 911 to get them assistance.
Awesome. And you should have. Now, Paul, I'm going to answer you directly. Yes. When I say never call the cops on me, calling the cops on my neighbors, okay, my narrative is don't use the police as your personal security system. If you're going to start some crap, finish it yourself, okay? If you're going to have a conversation with somebody, have that conversation and leave it be. You don't have to escalate it. Now, when somebody commits a crime, okay? And what I mean by a crime is you got to have a body and there better be some blood. All right. I don't want to hear all this shoving and arguing and all that crap. You're wasting resources. All the domestics that's happening out there is so ridiculous. When women are getting beat to death and killed because she's not calling the cops because she can't figure out what love is. Those kind of situations cops need to be in. Corrosive situations where men are beating each other down, or women doing the same thing to men, whatever, setting them up to rob them, kill them, whatever. Yes, detectives, yeah, police officers, yes, they are there for that reason. And I have no problems with people supporting their police. Just please get it the fuck off my flag. All right, because Taylor Taylor Police does not fucking represent the United States. So when you got a blue line fucking flag that sits there and represents that little city, you're disrespecting every man that fought for this country. Do you remember Rambo? There's a reason why the writers wrote that script. They treated our freaking people like shit. Cops treat our heroes like shit. Okay, so now they want to take the place as heroes when they get paid. Wait a minute, you get paid
People
for a
just in
job. Now
general
you
are
want me to
treating each other like shit.
Now you want me to wait a minute. We pay you. Now you want my respect? You got to earn that. Okay, it's bad enough I got to pay you to distort me on the street and to sit around and have 3 or 4 freaking policemen pulling people over every 4 minutes, man, and printing it out so fast and getting back to the spot. And 5 seconds later, you got somebody else. I seen it. I got it recorded, man. I already sent it to the state's attorney's office. They're looking for prosecution. They are observing that for prosecution. Seriously, because I warned the guy. He was in color of law in several different things, and that's where Rashida Tlaib's coming in. Okay, she's backing me on that because she's awesome. She knows lawyers, and her lawyers are telling her the same thing I'm telling her. That is entrapment when you're under color of law and breaking the law. You have those lights. You are in a car in the state of Michigan. If you are in a marked car, those front windows cannot be tinted. And if they are, they're only about 17 to 25%. Just like anybody else. Okay.
And let's get back to because John DeNicola, I think Lillian or
all right, let me finish the statement and I'll shut up.
Okay, go for it.
So he's already under color of law because he's pulling people over in a vehicle that's not suitable, because driver responsibility is that anybody that drives that vehicle, they're supposed to get the same ticket as we get. Okay, same thing with that blue line. That car is not a commercial vehicle. That car is owned by the people. It's a government owned, government sanctioned, and government insured. Okay, we have a bond on that car just as well as we do the officer. So when you're putting that blue line flag on there, it was put on there basically as the fallout of Black Lives Matters in 2014, it shows a very biased racist sentiment that people don't want to put up with. That's well earned and well hated, and it's a necessary anarchy. Okay,
I just had to say one thing.
Go ahead.
Black Lives Matter. Josh, it was in my Facebook post in the picture, so everyone just has to know that.
All is well. And the third thing is, so when you're in a car that is marked, okay, you're sitting on a sidewalk while enforcing the law, you're supposed to be code 2. So if I was blocking a sidewalk sitting there, they would give me a ticket. 247.973. A Michigan Penal Code says I can't block or obstruct a sidewalk. Neither can a police officer unless he's code 2. So he needs to be sitting there with his lights on if he does, but he can't do that because it'll spoil the trap. You see the catch-22? You see, so all this crap that I'm talking about here. And Paul, by the way, I do have a paralegal degree. I had the back of my head blowing out. You might be an attorney, but I got a little law in my head too.
Well, Mr. Carroll, I mean, Wolvie, you do all right for, somebody like a regular condition, you know what I'm saying? But the disability that you got, man, you still keep up. You're still very observant, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know. I think you make some really valid points, but anyways, I just wanted to come back. Where was that Les Hicks or
that actually goes off of what Wolvie just left at, right? So Wolvie has a paralegal degree. Paul is a Esquire. He has a law degree, a JD, right? Paul, is that?
I got a YouTube degree. I got a YouTube law degree.
Well, congratulations, Josh. But just going to Les Hicks' comment, like, you should be proud to tote whatever degree you have. And I do not have a problem with people having degrees because I want a doctor that has a fucking degree. But I also want a policeman who has a degree, who has
Amen.
4-year
I'll take one as a sugar
education
daddy. I'll take one as a sugar daddy.
and or training, additional training and certification and de-escalation, nonviolent communication, things that are needed.
How about just honor your oath? How about that? If you just
Well, no,
honor your oath,
right now we're talking
don't
about
need- we don't need-
degrees. We're talking about degrees. So I think that there
Yeah, but
is
we already
an
have
importance.
that. We are there. They have like stacks and stacks. I could take you to Taylor Police Station right now, and all these other down river communities have the same thing. And I could show you the big separator folders full of de-escalation freaking modules. Okay, nothing but training. They got it all. We don't need to spend another dime on training. Okay, and if a barber has to go to a college for 2 freaking years and a cop only has to go 6 months, what the hell's wrong with that?
Well, no, and that's why I said
advocating for training.
Yeah, and that's why I said I believe they should have 4-year degrees as well.
I'm agreeing with her.
Who, cops?
A minimum of 4 years.
Yeah,
and then pay them $125,000 a year start.
Yeah, criminal justice that starts with the Constitution, not like case law. It'd be like, hey, screw what the case law says, because that was a specific case. It's just wrong to search through people's stuff. Just do it as a last
we're
resort.
deviating. I was just pointing out Les Hicks' comment. I believe that there
let's
is
find it.
value in speaking about the education that someone may have, and I don't think that should be associated with left liberalism. That's a little out there for me.
What, is it this one?
I'm not in front of my computer. I can't see.
Oh, when a person leans
I'm
heavily on
outside.
their degrees, it makes me
Yes.
distrust them, as it usually
Yes.
means they have been heavily leftist, indoctrinated, not educated. Well,
There
I
is
mean,
some truth to that.
there is a little bit of truth to that.
No. I mean,
it's
but we're not
obvious
here to
you feel that way,
disagree.
yeah.
We're not here to disagree and say people are right and wrong. Remember,
We feel differently. Let's
No,
move
you
on,
can
right?
you can state your opinion. That's my opinion.
she
I
can't.
can prove it.
No, she can't. This is my show.
But for the sake of argument's sake, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind leaving that alone. We'll agree to disagree and move on, because I just think the bias in the Republican and Democratic Party is just so freaking crazy that they are trained to, no matter what the situation is to stick on their side and not look at the facts. They would rather say, well, wait a minute. Oh, he's on his side. No, I can't do that. I got to stick with their narrative instead of looking at the facts.
I believe that to be unsubstantiated. And when you say you can't look at the facts, I just want to give you a fact about me, Wolvie. I was a Republican until the age 20.
Okay.
Right? So I will say I don't necessarily affiliate with any party, but I know for sure I'm not a Republican. I was a Republican for 20 years, and I became, I don't want to throw like crazy words out there, but I became a free thinker. And what could I learn about that I don't know?
So are you a Democrat right now?
I do vote as Democrat.
Copy that. So you do have a bias. I'm back quiet.
My
point's proven. I don't need to go any further on this. You guys, if you guys want to talk about something else, you're more than welcome. But I'm going to stay out of that conversation because you do have a bias, ma'am. You're biased.
Yeah. It's okay for everybody to recognize bias.
We all have a bias, but also
it's not an insult to tell Lillian that she's wrong.
My choice in voting the way I do is also based off of half my life I lived the other side.
LA
So have
Spike.
I. You're talking to the same guy that was a local 243 Teamster and that was a Republican at one time. You're talking to a guy that's been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been in the system and out of the system. You're talking to a guy that's did a 5-year bit in prison. That's where I got my freaking paralegal degree. And now I don't have a record at all. And you can't look it up. You can't look me up because I don't exist in their system no more because I expunged it. But the fact of the matter is, I know what I'm talking about. I lived it. I just didn't read it. I lived it. I lived it.
Yeah, and I didn't say that you didn't do any of that.
So you might want to refrain from certain things that. Sorry, I had to let my dog out.
Oh,
the dog's
okay.
had to use the bathroom.
Who let the dogs out? Wolf.
Me.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
When people come out and say that certain bodies of education are not politically motivated and politically biased, that is a damn lie to begin with.
Well,
it is all an indoctrination. Every bit of it's an indoctrination.
But that's not only education, Wolfie. That's everything in life.
No, that's just 1/3 of it. The fourth branch of government made sure to tell people that are in positions like yourself, the fourth branch of government being the mainstream media. Okay, that's the fourth branch of government now. Okay,
is that
that's why
official? That is how the United States is set up with the mainstream media is the fourth branch.
It never. No, you are wrong. There's only supposed to. See, that's where you're in error. It's 3 branches. Paul, do me a favor, Paul. Articulate that for her, Paul.
Yeah.
Disseminate that for her, because she respects you.
Articulate what?
The 3 branches of government.
Well.
I know that, but you just said that the mainstream media is the fourth branch.
It is.
Well, yeah, it did. Well, it pushes propaganda. Do you know how
and leftist has made it that way?
I never realized
propaganda comes from both conservative and liberal media sources.
Yeah, but they're always on the defensive, and the Democrats are on the offensive. Me being a local 243 Teamster, I'm telling you, we as Democrats were very offensive, and the rights were very defensive, and it was a constant fight. Constant fight.
Do you not think that could vary from state to state? Like, are the Democrats?
No, it don't.
Texas
No, it don't, because it started in Chicago, brother. Come on, man. Where do you think Saul Alinsky came from? Who do you think hired him? Who do you think pulled him off the streets before he was logged in? Before he got into any politics whatsoever, all he knew how to do was organize. And then Al Capone snatched him up, brought him in the organization, into the mob, opened his books, and made him do what the hell he did. And that's what gave birth to Barack Obama and freaking Hillary Clinton.
All right, can we just move on from this, please?
Yeah, no. We'll be full of facts.
My sister has to go.
And I'm not saying that you're not Wolvie, but let's just talk about something else.
Yeah, I was backing him.
And I have to put my sister in timeout. And I feel like that's disrespectful to have to put my sister in timeout, but that's what I have to do.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tap out then if it's gonna be.
You can talk to Mr. Carroll. We're not gonna go down. I'm just telling you, I have to. None of my mods are taking care of my sister and timing her out.
Make me and Paul a mod.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. What service would you contribute if you were my mod? You just tell me how dumb I am on everything and how I'm like a crazy person.
No, I would just probably type ha ha all the time.
And my guy,
yeah. Those how about if you make me a mod, those are the only 2 things I will type in there.
You have to send me a picture of you and Witch too, like when you get to wherever you're going.
Josh, come on.
Are you guys gonna try to suck off a Kate too and like build your own platform and stuff?
I'm sorry, guys. I've been walking around my truck. I'm not yelling If I'm a little loud, that's because I'm walking. I'm walking around my truck, getting in and out of my truck.
Well,
Yeah,
so
it's
forgive me
cold
if
out.
it sounded like I was getting loud, but that is I'm multitasking.
Yeah, it's
Well,
cold outside too.
I'm
Very.
proud of you for multitasking. Yeah, tomorrow it's supposed to warm up, which is nice because I have to get back to work. I got a lot of work to finish up before.
Yeah, you got to make me some money.
Yeah, so coming back to
Pole
the mod
holder.
thing, yes, I will consider it. I mean, Mr. Carroll is the resident attorney, and when I say that, I mean he corrects me on everything law. So if that's not an attorney for you, then I don't know what is. Somebody that's not afraid to be like, no, you're wrong on this.
Go, Paul.
I leave the comments up, and then I politely return with questions. And then
I'm calling the police.
Yeah, stop calling the police. That's a lesson for everybody. Like, let's just resolve disputes.
I mean, unless you're in danger, please call the police if you are in active danger.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Don't gaslight. Not the gaslighting danger because somebody's out on a sidewalk recording somebody that you don't know.
And also,
that's not danger.
And also, don't flood the police lines just because you tell people to do it.
Well, I usually call.
Who does that? Wait. Who does that?
I don't know. People do that.
No, I'm asking you a question.
She's talking about I'll give you an example. Press NH now, and then he was found not guilty in both of his cases where he had chiefs of police on the stand. And Mr. Carroll, you'll love this. Ready, Mr. Carroll? The chiefs of police had to admit that they had to watch the video like 3 or 4 times to prepare for
court. Hey, Bob, I know you're sending me text, dude, but I can't read them because I'm on the phone. Sorry, guys. Bob continues to. My lawyer continues to send me texts. Go ahead.
Do what you got to do. But anyways, what was I talking about?
I said don't flood the police lines.
Oh, make sure you call a non-emergency line. But there was something else, and it was way more important.
Something about me liking testimony of cops.
Testimony of cops.
Press NH now.
Oh, press NH now. Yeah, the cops on the stand had to do it. Yeah.
The guy with the back of his head blowing out smarter than everybody on the freaking panel. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, you're proving to me smart right now. I think Mr. Carroll and I think Lillian just wanted me to avoid this question. But what was the question one more time? Oh, on the stand. Yeah, on the stand. They had to admit that they watched the YouTube videos. Like, they had to admit it. Isn't that like... So I guess my question is, if I have cops in a court of law, like the cop from the traffic stop, and I put him on the stand, my first question is going to be, when was your last bowel movement? And I'm going to come up with like 10 other ridiculous questions if they ever make me go to trial on this. So they should just avoid it now and just drop it. It's been what, like 9 years at this point? It's been like 9 court battles, and they still get nowhere. And then they postpone the
Never
trial.
ask a question that you don't have the answer to.
Well, probably just get objected to on relevance grounds.
Well, I mean, they're going to say their state records showed that according to their records, this is what it came back as. There's no way for me to prove a negative. So, they still have to prove that I did it.
You know what's good about relevance? It's about a guy. Look him up, Walter White. He's not the show Walter White. My actual attorney. When I had to take Wyandotte Police down to Frank Murphy, all right. I took on the whole police station myself because my neighbor was calling the cops on the people that used to live there, and then he started doing it on me. He called 563 times in 1 year. So listen to this. Dan Grant literally stepped in and said, you know what? Enough's enough. They got a detective on it. They pressed charges on him. And I didn't know that they finally stepped up and did their freaking job, right? So I'm under duress. I'm young. I just bought a house. I got a baby girl. I got a 5-year-old girl and a newborn son. Okay, busted my ass being a truck driver, doing what I do, and I got to come home and worry about this SOB next door because he's crazy. or he's crazy on 2 left feet, all right? And all he does, we'll be sitting here. I'll give you an example. We're freaking sitting. We went to bed, 3 o'clock in the morning. We got a knock on the door. I open. It's Wyandotte Police. They're saying, "Sir, I'm sorry, but he called the cops on you at least 16 times tonight, and we've been sitting down there watching, and we know that you have not done nothing. There hasn't been no movement." And he finally said if we wasn't going to do anything about it, and he literally took his index finger and pointed at the rifle leaned up against the doorway and said that he was going to kill me to the cop. So the cop's saying, "Sir, I need you to sign this complaint." And I'm like, "Why? I don't want to sign the complaint. You're the complaining witness. He told you that I was going to kill me. You're the cop. You freaking prosecute him." So they got mad at me because I'm not a snitch, right? They got mad at me because I wouldn't sign the complaint. They don't need that. Remember the OJ law? Come on, Paul. Tell them what's up on that. We all know if you commit any type of crime in front of a police officer in a domestic situation, they can testify. They don't even need my testimony because he told the cop and pointed out the gun and said that he was going to shoot me with it. You don't need me to be the complaining witness. He is. Am I right or am I wrong?
I guess it depends on the jurisdiction and what the laws are in that particular jurisdiction, but my understanding is that at least in Ohio, yes, that's the case.
And it's the same thing here in Michigan. If you commit a crime in front of a police officer, he can charge you and he can testify to the fact. And it's a domestic law because it's OJ. It's a federal thing that went and changed all laws when it comes to domestic violence to where they don't need a complaining witness because, especially if it happened in front of the police officer. But they need to, what they usually do is make the person, they still arrest the person if the cop didn't see it. Say like if he did shoot me, or say like he hit me with the gun and he didn't see it and he pulled up and I'm saying, yeah, he did it. And then I say I don't want to press charges. They're still going to press charges on him, and they're going to send me a freaking a summons to testify against him. They're going to make me testify against him because of the law. That's everywhere all across the United States, thanks to O.J. Simpson.
I just had to block my mom right now in chat.
What?
My mom came in chat.
Well, you got the Family Feud? What the fuck?
My dead mom came into the chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm back up.
Yeah, how nice are people, aren't they? Like super nice.
Damn, dog, that's sad.
Isn't that like, here, speaking of sad, Mr. Carroll, do you want to say anything about Jay from Jay's Surreal Camera?
I know nothing about him.
Well, that's a shame, and you should, because he filmed the police and he did a very good job at doing so.
Hey, Josh.
And I passed along some of his videos to my local police departments, which they probably have not watched. Would you agree that I'd probably be pretty good at teaching a class on, like, how to act on camera and how not to act? I'm pretty much an expert at it.
From my perspective, I don't know that I would go so far as to agree with that statement entirely, but you're free to offer your services to your local police department.
I haven't done anything illegal on camera. I mean, the whole driving thing is still up in the air because it depends on your definition of driving.
Oh, good Lord.
I know. We can get South City up in here.
I mean, it's almost like definitions are important when it comes to the law.
I mean, we could have the common law discussion. I don't think tonight is the night for that. I'm trying to keep it more lighthearted, but hey, can you see the comments on the screen, Mr. Carroll? Have you seen the TikTok video?
I'm not sure.
I don't TikTok, so
I don't TikTok.
No.
All right. Well, what do you think of this loop? Hold on, I'll play it for you. What? Hold on, I'll play it for you. Tell me if you like it.
This guy's fiending for some ID right now. I gotta have that ID. I gotta have it. Sir, I'm talking to my camera, dude. I'm talking to my camera. I can narrate from my camera all I want. Mr. ADD over there can't fucking concentrate. This guy's fiending for some ID right now. I gotta have that ID. I gotta have it. Sir, I'm talking to my camera, dude. I'm talking to my camera.
All right.
Did you like that one?
I mean,
Who are
it
you
seemed like he
asking?
was just going to ask you not to interrupt him while he's trying to have a conversation with somebody else.
Can't multitask?
No, you have to learn not to fucking interrupt people, Josh.
He should be
If
able to
you're
multitask.
having a
You know,
conversation with somebody and somebody...
I asked him name and badge number, and he gave me 10 words in reply when all he had to do was give me 5. Officer, whatever, badge, whatever. That's 4. He gave me a 10-word response instead of a 4-word response. Which one was faster? I'll get it to you when I feel like it, is what he told me. When I asked him for his name and badge number walking back to the car. I love badgering cops. I really do. There's an art to it.
Okay, well, that's your thought on that.
Do you want to see another example?
No,
I mean,
don't, Josh, I don't.
This is a cop watching channel, Lillian. You do realize this is a cop watching channel. And you're on a watchdog is with a cop watcher right now, and we've actually found a lot of common ground.
Paul Carroll, do you think you're a watchdog?
I don't personally subscribe to that label, but I believe it's been applied to me.
Well, you're a watchdog sympathizer, kind of like Lillian, so you're sus. And
What?
as long as you're sus,
what would classify as sympathizers? And I don't like that word because it's usually used after the N-A-Z-I word, and I don't like it. So what do you mean? What is your Josh Lanto
a watchdog?
definition?
I've defined a watchdog several times. So a watchdog sympathizer, when those two words are put together, it's probably more insulting than sovereign citizen. So, like, when I put those two words together and I'm trying to be nice and respectful and reasonable with the label, watchdogs are they're the type of people that police somebody to suicide. That's what a watchdog is.
Let me talk.
Okay, go for it.
You said they are worse.
They would drive like somebody on the borderline to suicide. That's what they would do. They wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't be happy until it happened.
Okay, but
they're
you
like
also
those bullies,
said that
they're the popular kids at school that bully the one kid to the point of suicide. That's what they are.
Josh, no. Please don't talk about they're not, Josh.
Oh, we can have that. Like, we can talk about suicide a different night. I'm just saying, but that's the type of crowd.
No, but you said a watchdog sympathizer sounds more insulting than soft.
Than a sovereign citizen.
Right, but so my whole point to you right now is going to be you are trying to insult people. You just said, I use this word because it's more insulting.
Well, you can deny it.
You're just trying to go around insulting people.
Okay, so let me apologize.
I'm none of those.
Let me apologize.
I don't think Paul is... Paul, I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I feel that you wouldn't be toting around a blue line flag.
I mean, I don't take as big of an issue as some people do with it, but I'm not.
Well, but you've never served in the military, and like in the military, they take flag etiquette very seriously.
Right, but it's a different flag than the United States flag.
Right. Well, that's the whole point. Like, we're not, like, I would say, don't take away, like, they can have whatever symbol they want, just don't use the American flag as a symbol. They used to have one that looked, like it had a big black top and a big black bottom with a solid blue line in the middle. That one was fine. Like, nobody has issues with that one. That one's a unique flag, doesn't take on resemblance of the national flag. And that's kind of where I sparked back in conversation with Liliana. And Liliana, what?
Hey, you mind if I, Josh? You mind if I ask Paul and the other guest a question real quick?
Liliana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you believe the laws that are written, that are current, that are in place in the state of Michigan? If you lived in the state of Michigan, do you believe in the Michigan constitutional law just as well as the United States law?
So I'll start, Paul. I do live in the state of Michigan, Wolvie.
Okay, cool.
And
I brought her here.
Okay, Josh.
All is well.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
And I will say, I, as a Michigander, am not versed in the Michigan Constitution, right? I know the Constitution of the United States more than my state law.
Okay. What
But
about you,
also,
Paul?
I've only lived here half my life. I grew up in the United
You
States.
answered the question. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so your mom had to learn the Constitution.
Hold on, let her.
Go
She
ahead.
already
Okay,
answered it. Let me get to what I'm getting to here. Paul, do you believe in the Constitution in your state as well as your federal government?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, well, let me clarify. When I say believe in, because for some people that's like, do you think it exists? Kind of believe in.
Do you believe in upholding the law?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, 780.245 of Michigan Penal Code is a direct replica of the 800 law of the USC, all right, which is the flag code, all right? And it specifies in 740 so 270.4
It specifies you cannot alter,
245,
you cannot alter the
244,
flag of the
and
United
246.
States.
Excuse me?
Does it specify that you cannot alter the flag of the United States?
Yes, it does. But see, what I love about the Michigan code is they went further and defined what they meant. Okay, so you're not allowed to defile, deface, add, subtract, color, write on, specific. Okay.
Yes.
So you putting that on your doorstep or your garage door, or a police officer doing that on his own property or in public or even on his car would be fine, according to the Supreme Court in freedom of expression. But under oath, you followed all laws. You don't have when you sign a code of ethics and you sign your code of conduct, you are no longer under constitutional law. You are under a code of conduct. All right. And your code of conduct tells you to represent the government all times while you are employed. It's part of your bargaining agreement, and it's attached to your code of conduct, or excuse me, it's attached to your code and oath of office is your code of conduct. Okay, that's how that works. And the bond that we put on them, just in case qualified immunity, when it's taken from them, you can only sue for so much, and then the taxpayers got to bring up the rest. Okay, the same thing with that car. Okay, when that car hurt somebody, kills somebody, that it's insured for so much, but then the taxpayers got to come out because there's an umbrella on that bond, just as well as there is on that insurance. So what happens is we have a code here in the state of Michigan that tells our law enforcement that they cannot put that on their anything. They cannot use it commercially in the government, meaning you can't flag it up that pole, you can't put it on the building, you sure as hell can't display it out in the middle of the police station. But me and you can do that because we support the Constitution, or we support our police officers. We're allowed to burn the damn flag if we want to, because we didn't sign a code of conduct and we didn't sign on any type of honor to where I signed away my rights to do so until I retire. okay, for like the police have when they took their oath. All right. And that is what I'm saying. They are in color of law when they drive around like that. And I've already proven it. I've gotten several attorneys to back me up. The problem is that there's a little racism involved in this, and these so-called white cops, and it's that white supremacy. And hey, Wolvie is the last dude you will see on YouTube to race bait. I can't stand race baiters. But I'm going to be honest, just like I was when I told you when I used to be a Democrat and Republican and how it really was, and how I was involved and how I was offensive and how I became defensive. The same way in this situation. What I see is more tyranny in every department that displays that flag. I see more. I see more color of law. I see more bad attitudes. I see all kinds of them obstructing code of conduct. Heck, they don't even want to give me the do's and the don'ts.
Hey, can I ask a quick yes or no question of Mr. Carroll?
Yeah, go ahead,
Mr. Carroll.
I'm just trying to educate people, man.
Well, that's fabulous, and I didn't mean to interrupt or slow your roll or anything, but I had a question real quick. If I had a defense attorney that got paid, or the defense attorney in my disorderly case that got dismissed, would that defense attorney get paid?
Assuming they're working for the county that you operate in, yes, they would get paid by the county.
Okay, so if I represented myself and I got the case dismissed, should they owe me the same as what they would have paid a defense attorney?
No,
that's
because
logical. That's logical. So should I drop off an invoice for? Well, it was like $1,000 from all the videos and all the time I had to put into that.
I mean, you're free to invoice the county if that's what you want to do, but I wouldn't hold my breath on.
I don't know anything about the.
I got a question, Josh.
What?
To your statement and your assertion here. Did you in fact get found not guilty?
It didn't go to trial. They dismissed it.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I would have to side with the people.
Well,
on that.
It was the third attempt at arraignment because I walked the.
I know, I get it, but I don't want to pay you to do that because they dismissed it. All right, so that's my taxpaying money too. I don't want to pay you, dude. But if you went through a trial and you got found out guilty by a jury or by the guy on the bench, oh hell yeah, I would say give him his money.
I would say like $600 is fair at least.
Well, I mean, I'm giving you my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I edited the videos to coordinate with what was in the police report.
That would be more logical to me.
Right, because there was a bunch that happened in between there. Like nobody took my paperwork for me. Like it would have been cool if they did that. That would have been like
dismissed. You didn't have to fight. You know what I mean? You couldn't even, for crying out loud, you couldn't even get arraigned.
Well,
so there was really.
They're still at attempt number 10 in Clarkston to try to arraign me properly. They still haven't done it. They still haven't done it. Last time they had God speaking in their, courtroom, and it was kind of ridiculous.
I forgot to tell you, the Tenure Commission. You might be able to get something out of the Tenure Commission in the state of Michigan. That is
I tried dropping it off at the Tenure Commission. Then they said they only take it by mail. So I was right there.
So there you go, because the Tenure Commission might be able to take care of that. They're the ones that picks the. Hey, they're as good as the bar, bro. They're as good as the bar.
Mr. Carroll, what will they do with that complaint? They'll toss it in the trash, won't they?
For complaints that are dismissed?
Well, and then complaints on a judge is a good way
to
make yourself disappear. I'm not trying to disappear. My family and my friends all want me dead already, so it's like I wouldn't put it past anybody.
I would throw it away, Josh. If I was sitting on the Senior Commission, hey, I'd burn them. I'd take a video of it and I would troll you with it.
Oh, I have the. Do you want to see the judicial report I have written up on Gross? Like, it was like this is what I tried to hand deliver down to the judicial investigation, but she was nothing like the judicial canon said she was supposed to be. I have it here somewhere. I wrote it up and I never I tried to go send it in, but I'll get it here in a minute. So anyways, did anybody ask any interesting questions in chat that you guys want to address, or is that a no?
I'm just talking.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm back quiet.
Why do you keep blocking your sister, man?
I keep putting her in timeout because she doesn't know how to act.
Well, what do you think? How is she supposed to act, Josh?
Polite.
Sorry, Wolvie, we're gonna get into family shit for a minute. Sorry.
Well, just be polite.
I am being polite.
Suing your brother is not cool.
I'll be the judge of this shit. Let me see what's going on.
She can come up if she wants to, but
no, I don't think it should be.
It's not the time or the place for that.
Well, Wolvie hopped off. Could we have a good conversation, Josh?
Well, we could. Do you want to see the judicial report that I had ready to go on Gross, or no?
I don't.
Oh my God! I was gonna murder Gross in this judicial investigation.
Yeah, don't. Those are not a great choice of words. I know you're trying to be descriptive and illustrate.
I was gonna put an end to her career. How about that?
Paul, do you have interest? I mean, you could have at it, but
You want to see an example of this? This is the judicial investigation report. Hold on. Tell me if you can see that. Oh, shit. Hold on. I'm messing with technology right now. Okay. If you can see this. Judicial investigation report, correct?
I mean, it would be helpful if you made your screen the full one, but...
Yeah, I don't know how to do that yet.
No,
I'm still working.
just take us two out. Take us two out, and it's just you.
Well, listen, I will. I think Wolvie dropped out, but I will take pictures of it, and maybe we can come back up and discuss it. But I put that she was a gross judge because her name was Gross. And I just said, Canon 1, Miss Gross is supposed to be an independent party. Miss Gross is also supposed to display high standards of conduct in her position acting, capitalized, as a judge. So emphasis added on acting. Miss Gross was rude, combative, and displayed extreme prejudice towards myself throughout the entire arraignment proceeding, which I appeared only due to the perceived threat of arrest, warrant being issued for failure to do so. Miss Gross's conduct unbecoming of an honorable judge. How about that? Was that clear and concise and to the point? Did you hear that court date, by the way?
Did I?
Yeah, the one where she told me to be quiet and almost was on the verge of shut up and contempt. And
I don't think I heard that one.
She went into a flying rage. It was like a bull. You had to hold on for 8 seconds with her.
But that's your interpretation of the situation.
That's exactly what happened. Listen, I'll clip that video and we can talk about it if you want.
No, I really don't want to talk about any pending law cases with you or lawsuits or that kind of stuff.
Well, it's not a lawsuit. It was a judicial
review.
I think Wolvie's trying to come back up. Hold on. Add Wolvie to the stream. Sorry, Wolvie. I didn't think that was you backstage. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, sorry.
So I want to say for the record, I just want to insert this, and I'm going to go back quiet. She was being disrespectful, panel. You guys, I being a moderator, I can go back and look, and I would not want those words said from any of my members of my family saying it to me in public at all.
Thank you. Yeah, I was saying,
Not to say that it ain't true. I'm not saying that because I don't know her side of the story. I'm saying she shouldn't be doing that shit. She should look. My sister and I, my mom, we all have our issues. Okay, we're grown and
I'm tapping out. Bye, guys.
I'm old and grumpy. Okay. I gotta. All right, later. Have a good night. But I'm old and grumpy, All right, I get it. So is my mom. She's old and grumpy, and my sister's old and grumpy. So when we're not getting along, we keep our business to ourselves. Okay, we don't put that shit out on YouTube, and we don't. I sure as hell ain't gonna tell nobody. I won't even tell my wife, let alone anybody else. It's none of nobody else's business.
Amen.
So to come up on my channel and say something as derogatory as that, shit.
Well, thank you for at least agreeing.
Well, I'm just saying what's true. You can tell me.
I don't want to put my family members in timeout. That's not
Hell
what I'm.
no. That's ridiculous. This is the first time I've ever encountered something like this on YouTube. I've never seen family go at each other. And here's my words. Here, Josh, I already told you yours.
Yeah, we were talking about a blue line flag and the division that it causes.
Right. So let me say this to your family if they're listening to me. Please. I do not have anything against you. I don't know you. I don't know what your beef is with your sibling or your son, whoever he is to you. Okay? I do know this. Josh is a caring person, all right? And he's showed me respect, and I have no reason to believe anything else about him from people that I don't know, and I will always have his back until he shows me something otherwise. So for an example, I didn't know that I was on my way to somebody's house the other day, but when I got there, I gave the guy a piece of my mind because he's saying he's a bad dad. Well, I've heard live conversations with him and his son. Okay,
and my son loves me. He loves
and
the hell out of me.
I heard his son talk about, I miss you and I want to see you, but they won't let me. So when I heard them words, I had no other way of responding. But oh my God, I can't imagine that baby boy not being able to see his daddy.
Yeah.
Well, because of adults, including you, Josh. That's not just them. I'm talking to all y'all. There's no reason why that baby should not be seeing his father.
Amen. That's all I've been saying. That's all I've been saying, like this whole time. Like, it's ridiculous. It's gone on way too long.
If you got something with if you got a beef that
it's that deep. It's like it's that bad of a beef, and it's stupid that you can't just squash it for the sake of kids, you know?
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm being real about it. I'm trying to keep out of the drama. The drama's between you and those other adults. The relationship as a counselor, and what I've been taught when it comes to relationship and psychodynamics, when I was a peer mentor down at DMC, what we would key on is you guys can point out fingers all you want, but when the kids are involved, you're making them victims. They become victims now. And now all over because you're running your mouth or she's running her mouth. You guys got to get that shit straight, man. You guys get that shit straight now. You know? Yeah. And I say that to you. How many times have I said that to you? I'm not just telling your family members that.
I'm trying to keep, I'm keeping this conversation with
keep it real.
Yeah, I'm keeping it off YouTube. I'm just going to keep it private. The lady was very respectful and nice.
Yeah.
And she sounded nervous that I was going to post this stuff on YouTube. And I told her she has my trust until she doesn't have, I give everybody a chance that I can trust them. So I'm giving her a chance that I can trust her. I said, if you go to, screw me over and say that I shouldn't be allowed around the kids, then I'm going to post this conversation. And I don't want to. I don't want to post any of this stuff. I want to knock it off.
Well, Broken brother, as your brother, I got to tell you, I don't think it's a good idea that you post anything, period. I think it does. I think it'll do you more harm than good. I don't care if you were 1,000% right. And I'm going to tell you why. This child This child is going to grow up, and this child's going to hear this because it's going to be floating out there in cyberspace somewhere. Whether you delete it or not, it's in somebody's shit. And there's always somebody trying to get off. And if you, for an example, if a year from now, you might have 50,000 subscribers, I might have 100,000. Okay. Do you know how many jealous people are going to be coming after you?
Yeah.
Here, put that down right here. Or no, just set it on my bed. I was waiting for you guys to come. Thanks, Adam. Love you. That's my 19-year-old boy. A proud Second Amendment and a proud constitutionalist that I turned him into, and along with my daughter. I am so fortunate, ladies and gentlemen, to have such, and I'm honored to have my better half to put up with my shit for all these years and give me an awesome family. You know, for a slave paying all these taxes and doing what I do, I'm very spoiled. I'll say that for the record. And it don't have to be that way, ladies and gentlemen. And what I'm saying to you is, let it go. And if you don't have any, create some filters and put them in your chest before it comes out them lips, and run it through another filter. It takes some timeouts. That's why they call them timeouts. You literally got to stop and reflect on what's really happening. You have to use motivations. You have to use all type of psychodynamics tactics in these situations, because we're all human and feelings run rapid, you know, especially out here in these YouTube streets. And you have to have an action step and motivation set to stop any further damage from happening. And I'm talking to Josh's family. If you're listening to me, I happen to have a little education on that, and I'll show you my badge anytime. Since you're one of the legitimate people and like to see qualifications, I could show you both my paralegal degree, and I could show you my badge that opens up 7 hospitals down here at DMC and most of their doors. I got an office down there. Everybody knows me, man. Everybody. A lot of people disagree with me in the cop watching, because they're biased and they don't want to come off of their political stance, and it goes against them, and they'll get marginalized if they agree with the truth. And that's what I was trying to tell old girl up here. She's sitting here trying to tell me that her being a registered Democrat is not biased. That's bullshit. You're biased. I'm not telling you you're a devil. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just telling you that you have a bias that it's going to get in the way of inserting truth, accepting truth, being approachable, and being able to be accessible to narrating things that are not fair, and you want it to be a certain way, and so does your party. So you're willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So are Republicans, and that's why I can't stand neither one of them.
Well, I think Vegas wants to come up, just as a heads up. He's in the basement, so I don't know if everybody wants to stay on panel or if anybody wants to take an exit so he can come up. It's up to you guys. I appreciate everybody for coming in here.
Why, you can only have 3 people?
No. We can open it up to 4. I'm just letting everybody know we're about to bring Vegas up. So
I mean, if like I said, if they start getting into specific people and drama, I'm gonna bounce out. But he's a grown man. I ain't gonna tell him what to do and what to say. It's not my show.
Yeah. So hold on, we're adding Vegas to the stream. Hold on.
Should call it a night relatively soon. I do have to be in court tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Carroll, if you got to drop out, we understand. Joe, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's happening, man? Just had to make sure it was really you.
No, that's me. Yeah, my avatar ain't showing. Yo, hey,
Oh yeah, people. Well, I'm just saying, people are clever and they'll take a slightly smaller image of your avatar and change up like
Yeah,
one
man.
little thing.
All of a sudden, you see a full ejaculation.
Right?
Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Hey, tell Paul Carroll don't run out. It's all good. I ain't gonna attack you, man. It's all good, Paul. I ain't got no issues with you, buddy. I wish you all well.
You were going to.
Oh no, because yeah, exactly. I'm glad, but I got no issues.
What's up, Vegas?
I even said that Paul has acted a little less terroristy tonight.
No, hey, I think Paul's actually a good guy, man. And Paul has an interesting perspective because he obviously has a legal background. It's an industry that he deals with every day, so he brings knowledge to the table. So
he
I
corrects
respect him.
all my questions. He corrects all my questions to the point where it drives me mad sometimes.
Well, what do you expect from a guy that calls a guy master every day?
Dude, probably getting a doctorate in law because of the shit that I say.
That's what attorneys do.
Attorneys sit around. They're officers of the court, so they got to do what master says.
Yeah, I'm probably participating in a study of some sorts that Mr. Carroll's involved in, and I don't even know it. There's probably a thesis being written on me.
Hey, Mr. Carroll, I saw. Hey, good to meet you, by the way. It's my first time I had a chance to speak to you. I saw that you were over in my stream earlier today. What did you think about it when you were listening?
I thought it was commendable that you were able to, I guess, quash the beef with Witch of Heart.
Yeah,
who the hell's that?
The thing too. I don't know if you noticed, but some of these channels, a lot of times, like my channel, I'm into roasting. I'm all about just, having fun. But I'll just leave it like that, like a basketball game at the end of the day. We all walk away friends. But some of these channels, they take it to the extreme where they really want to see a content creator.
They really go too far. Yeah, exactly. They would love to see a content creator get their ass beat on. Like they celebrated Jeremiah from LDOF.
I know.
They celebrated him getting punched straight in the face.
Yeah. Let me just say one thing to Mr. Carroll. But the one thing that I was trying to emphasize, I don't know if you understood the backdrop of mine earlier today, was because PSC Witchcraft, because she's a moderator and she's friendly on my channel, and we treat her good on my channel. But she was over there on other channels. She was over there on another channel, who's friendly and who's been putting out videos, actually openly expressing harm to me and making it clear that they're going to harm my child first, and they're hunting down my family off of YouTube.
Damn it, man!
Hey, listen, hold up. Hey, Mr. Carroll, if you know who Hand Banana is, I encourage you to go look at some of his videos, because he's openly said that I may not make it home from the store alive. He said that he's going to beat the shit out of my son. He said my son's first. And then he put out videos where he's got these crazy knives that are used for war with hooks on them, and he's stabbing at the screen as he's talking to me.
Yeah, I thought I seen some of that too. Yeah.
He's pulling a Dr. Dave. He's pulling a Dr. Dave.
Well, hold on. Dr. Dave never. Out of fairness to Dr. Dave, he never openly called for me to be harmed, and he never openly called for me to die, and he never openly called and said that he was going to harm my children first before he harms me. So I think Ham Banana really crossed the line, and now he's got Team Skeptic over there kind of complicit in what he's doing. So I thought
Dr. Dave was a watchdog that upheld the thumb and the rule of rights of law. So are you telling me, Vegas, that these guys are undercover thugs? Is that what you're saying to me?
Dr. Dave was just basically doing what he was doing for clicks and views. But what happened was, when he ran into my channel, he found out that I didn't take all that shit serious, and his channel took such a big hit. He doesn't even have live streams anymore. He lost his entire base, and the reason is because his live streams were based upon people sending him big money donations. People were actually sending him $200, and they were saying, "Here, take this. Go hunt." They were saying, "Go hunt Joey down and do this to him." So Dr. Dave sat back for months, collectively taking all this money, and by the way,
a lot of them are police. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then when he actually couldn't move forward on that, they all started demanding their money back. And so then when he called the truce with my channel, because he saw that I wasn't backing down, then they all left him, and now he has nobody supporting him on his live stream. So he took a big hit.
So he don't have people watching him no more.
Well, no, he buys the clicks and views, but he doesn't have any more live streams.
What do you
he
mean
knows
buys?
Lies. He buys views.
Oh.
And buys his views and clicks from.
You mean for money? He pays for them.
Oh yeah. He's got services. He buys all his viewers.
Well, how the hell you do that?
Listen. He even buys live stream viewers. And he's done it. He's came over to my live streams and he's paid for them. And when to make the appearance that just because he was coming on my live stream, I was having 600 people watching. Oh yeah, there's a lot of sites out there that'll sell you subs. Usually the going rate is about $65 for 1,000 of them. And what Dr. Dave and most of these channels do, like James Freeman, Joshua Abrams, I'm just letting you know what they do. They also have monthly plans where you could pay like $75 a month, and throughout that month you'll get a total of 1,000 subs, spread out. So it looks like they're coming in organically.
I don't understand. Tell me how that rolls.
Well, basically down in India and certain places, they take walls of telephones and they hook them all up together, and they have an application. They have them all wired up to a laptop. So if you send them money, say, hey, and you could buy like 100 subs, 500 subs, 1,000, and then they program it in the machine. And then these are all real YouTube accounts that these Indians made down in India, and they program it so all the phones are boom, just like that. You can instantly have like 1,000 subs within a matter of a couple hours.
It's an economy of scale kind of thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like that triangle bullshit. But hey, check this out. I'm dealing. I got several content creators on panel with me. So have you guys been seeing the big fuck ups on downloading and uploading shit on YouTube?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know that the wacky shit that YouTube's been going by. Look, it took me almost 2 days to upload a video. It monetized it. Listen to me.
Yeah, there was definitely a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, it monetized the video of mine, Vegas Valley. Yeah. And what happened was, all of a sudden, it was ready to go. It did a premiere today, and then it took my premiere right after it. Literally, I had to upload it and put it back out, and it didn't get nowhere the numbers it had before. It almost had like 2,000 hits, just like about maybe a half hour after that. And all of a sudden, if you go to do me a favor, Josh, go to my community page and put that up on screen and show everybody that. So this is going to happen to you. I guarantee it. It's happening to a lot of people out there.
Well, I've had videos I've had several videos that took in a couple of days to upload, but the reason is that when I upload my videos, I'm uploading them in 4K. So sometimes.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, depending on the size of the file, it could be like a 200 gigabyte file.
Do what I'm saying so he'll understand what I'm talking about. And you'll see I released the video and all of a sudden it took my video.
I'm trying to get to your community page.
But also, if you go to your YouTube studio, there's a section over to the right in the middle where it's talking. They're always updating like flaws and glitches in the system.
Yeah.
Daily they talk about, hey, there's a glitch, there's this, the monetization, this and that.
Oh, I sent feedback.
Yeah.
If that's what you're saying.
No, but it's letting you know like certain systems in their glitches in their systems that they're dealing with.
I haven't noticed that, bro.
Oh yeah.
I haven't noticed that, babe. Thanks for putting me up on it. So if I open my my desktop, I go to YouTube Studio and go to dashboard and where am I looking?
Well, yeah. When you're in the YouTube Studio where you're looking at everything. On the right side, like right in the middle, you'll see like where they have YouTube has announcements and stuff like that.
Okay, all right.
And there's a spot right there where they're announcing, whether new features they're about to release, but they also they let you know of all the glitches that they're experiencing and how they're working on them, and they say, hey, just you know what I mean. And one of them was
see that?
A bunch of them.
Look at it. It took my shit, dude. Literally, it literally took my shit. I had to read.
I can't really zoom in on that. It's kind of tough to read, I know, but
Well, it says this video is unavailable.
Why?
Okay. And I just explained to people, I said, well, look, I gotta re-upload this video. Thank God I got 2 backups. I had to re-upload it, and it only has like maybe 200 or 300. How many hits does that have on it? You go look on it. It don't even have nowhere near the hits it had before. And they stole from me, dude. It was monetized, dude.
Yeah,
they stole from me.
If they drop the ranking down too, or if they drop the rating down, they take away the views that it got for the other rating.
Let me ask you this: are you part of the Trusted Partnership Program, or does your videos have to go in a queue?
I don't.
If you're, in other words, when you're first uploading your video, are you allowed to rate it, or do you have to let it sit in a queue and let YouTube rate it?
Well, here I'll tell you exactly what I do. I go through the motions. I upload it, right, and the next thing, do you want to monetize it? I push yes. Okay. I push no. Okay, and then I hit next twice, and then I privatize it. I let it go through the checks, and then once it's done through the checks, then I monetize it, and then I set the premiere up, because it goes a lot faster if you do it that way, considering the other way.
Well, my monetization, I mean, I'm part of the Trusted Program, so they accept what I say as far as a rating, and it goes through freaking instant. I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be if you're not rating it correctly, it could have went up, and then they flag and say, hey, this wasn't rated correctly, and they pulled it down.
I mean, send me a video on that, so if you don't mind. You know my email address, WolverineTransparency@gmail.com. Simple. Just remember Wolverine Transparency. You know who I am, and then put gmail.com behind it. And if you don't mind, send me the link to a video that explains that, and I'll look more into that. And I would appreciate it deeply if you do that for me.
Yeah, I just had a question for Paul Carroll since he was up there.
Go ahead. I'm back quiet.
Because he's an attorney, and the reason I'm bringing up the ham banana, I would love to get your opinion as far as like if you were to go over there and look at some of these some videos where he's openly threatening to harm me and harm my children, the legalities and how someone like me could protect myself from across state lines. You know what I mean? Because obviously I'm not in that same state where the threat's being made, but it's so open and blatant. He's literally he makes statements like, you may not make it home alive from the store. He's got messages he posts up there. He says, I'm gonna beat the shit out of your kid. He says that I'm gonna be hunting down your family members off of YouTube.
That's public menacing.
As he's saying this, he's taking these knives and he's jabbing them towards the screen. I mean, is this federal? You know what I mean? What do you recommend I do on something like that?
Well, I'll preface this by saying I'm not an attorney in Las Vegas. Nothing I say should be construed as legal advice. That's the disclaimer. But
I get it.
If you're concerned for your safety, you can contact the local authorities or contact a local attorney about a cease and desist. But
police!
Well, let me see what he says. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that even though I'm sure you and I have disagreed on a vast number of subjects, I just want to say I'm genuinely sorry that this is happening to you. Nobody should experience death threats, regardless of their position on anything. That's totally uncalled for on the internet, and it shouldn't happen to anyone.
Yeah, I'm a ball buster, so I'm not even sure what we've even disagreed on in the past. I don't remember. I mean,
there's ball busting, and then there's legitimate menacing, like Wolverine said, and there's a line somewhere, and it sounds as though it has been crossed.
And that's in your state too. I got that definition from public menacing from the state of Ohio, by the way. So, and then I looked it up in my state, and it's very similar. So you might have
when you're waving a weapon around.
Well, go look at the menacing law. I mean, if you're not trolling, if you're being serious, go look at it.
Yeah, I know what the menacing is, but menacing is like when you're waving a weapon. When you
No,
yeah,
there's patterns of stalking. There's patterns of fighting words. There's threats and intimidation. There's
Going to a person's
actions
house.
of showing up and being threatening and using street attitude, threatening, intimidating behavior everywhere you go. Okay, so
Hey,
when
well,
you say I'm going to stab you, and then you go somewhere else and say I'm going to beat your child up, and you go somewhere else and you say he's beating you, so he's stalking you, the menacing kicks in, bro.
Let's come back to public menacing. I brought Aztec Ninja up. He's in the stream. Aztec fraud or hunter.
No, listen, don't bring him up when I'm on here. That's not what.
Thank you.
All right, listen, dude.
Oh, Vegas, congratulations on almost 2K subs without paying for them. Oh, there he goes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Wolverine. Mr. Wolverine.
All right, guys, I got to go, man. My
yours.
boat's getting cold. I'm gone, man.
I'm
Have
a
a good
big
night,
fan
everybody.
of yours, Mr.
Well, we got rid of him. He proved to be really interesting, right, Mr. Carroll? You're the only one left. I mean, what would you expect from a guy who had frauditor right in the name, right?
I guess we shouldn't be surprised.
I didn't know that he would run people off that fast. I didn't know that he was that bad, but he proved to be that bad in like 2.2 seconds.
I mean, I would just raise again the distinction. There is trolling, ball busting, just poking each other in the ribs, and then there's legitimate threatening.
He chased out 2 people. Well, yeah, we should have stayed on the legitimately threatening topic. What do you think of legit threats, Mr. Carroll? You know, I've been told that I might disappear by you know who, K1A. This is what my brother-in-law said. Did you see this one? If that was about me, what would you say? If that was about me, what would you say? That would be ultimately traumatizing to all of my children if that happened. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said to Jennifer Klein too about wishing her Rona?
I don't think I heard that one.
Yeah, because I didn't wish her Rona. She already had it, and then I just said, "Let's go Rona." You know what I mean? Kind of as, you know. I was driving the point home that when you say things, when you like kind of root for somebody to, you know, like have something unfortunate like that, how shitty it was, right? Because I did to her what my brother-in-law did to me, but it should be way different because I don't even know Jennifer, right? Like I don't even know her, so who cares what I say? But wouldn't you care what your brother-in-law says?
I mean, I wouldn't condone people making statements like that regardless of the relationship, but
does this show a reasonable person? Like, I'll admit it was borderline unreasonable for me to say, "Let's go Rona" to Jennifer when she had Corona. That was borderline unreasonable. This about a family member, especially, you know, from a family member that has the kids, right?
I think there are plenty of qualifiers, but for the most part, I would agree. People shouldn't be making statements like that.
And then do you see this one too? Like, I mean, if you work in family law, like you should at least have some sympathy for a child. Like, you know, I spoke with the daughter. She loves her family and her people. You know, when I took her to draw her family, she drew me as her dad, Dawn as her mom, and then my sister and my uncle as like her second set of parents. Like she had four parents in her life.
I feel like we very frequently come back to the discussion of your personal situation, yet regularly you mention I don't want to get into the personal stuff.
I'm not gonna ambush you, and I'm not gonna publish the family court conversation that I had today. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just saying, you know, I just figured since we lost half our crowd anyways, and we lost our guests because we invited an Aztec frauditor guy up here. What do you think of the term frauditor, by the way? Do you think that's like a... Don't you think that's kind of like a label almost as derogatory as like watchdog? And maybe everybody should cut out, using the, derogatory type terms, or what they mean is to be clearly derogatory.
I mean, I think it serves a purpose in the sense that it demonstrates their position on the quote-unquote auditor.
Well, it definitely sells tickets to the show. It definitely sells the tickets, right? Because nobody wants to go into a boring respect the other side. Would you agree with that?
Say that again.
I said, it doesn't sell tickets to the show if it's going to be, nice to the other side. So if somebody's going in expecting like a Schrodinger's cat, like a bag on the auditor guy or the cop watcher guy, or watch something unfortunate happen to him, like they're clearly on one side. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with the sentiment that conflict inherently...
It sells tickets to the show. Let's be
sells
honest.
more tickets to the show, as you say.
Right.
But I would also point
respectful,
that,
right? If they were respectful to me, it wouldn't sell tickets to the show. People would be like, "Well, wait, why don't you make fun of his teeth? Why don't you say, something like it's fitting that Starbucks would be the brand for the show right now, considering Starbucks has two S's in them. So as Charlie Welch would probably put it, Starbucks. He always says my stuff with like a really bad lisp.
I advocated against mocking people for inalienable or immutable characteristics, I should say. But I will also point out that same principle about not getting as many views based on agreeable conduct would apply to you as well. You said in this stream that you like... harassing wasn't the word that you had used, but something to mock or rile up the cops, and that fits that same principle of you would get more views by antagonizing them than you would by agreeing with them.
Would you say I'm a pretty good antagonist? Like on a scale from 1 to 10, where would you rank my antagonism?
I don't have an effective scale for ranking antagonism.
Well, I think you've watched half my videos, at least, especially when I attack they force you to watch it on their channels. I'd say I'm probably about a 6. Like, I could drive that puppy up to a 10 if I wanted to, but I don't. I choose to scale back.
But you do acknowledge that the animosity inherently brings you more views than if you were to be as agreeable as possible.
Well, it works the opposite in this channel. For their channel, everybody loves it. In this channel, they hate it, and it kind of kills the channel. And I've been warned by other people not to do that. But why do I do it? Because I guess I'm drawn to it, and I'm provocative, and I like being the antagonist sometimes.
So that law of attraction principle applies to your antagonism as well as you wanting to bring good vibes towards yourself?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, but I can be in on the joke when it's against me. These guys can't take a joke. I've never come out and like downright... Well, I mean, the whole Let's Go Rona thing was just to combat the whole fentanyl comment. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be outraged about me saying Let's Go Rona, like in a playful way, but they won't be okay with... or they will be okay with somebody catching a hot fentanyl back. So, but I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me. But Liliana said this, Mr. Carroll, that I will never give up. So she believes that I will never give up. Right?
On that comment, I suppose.
Right.
Not knowing the context, it's possible she could have said that in a negative way of you will not give up your
silliness.
I would say erroneous legal views.
Well, but you say erroneous, but I tend to disagree with you. I mean, there's disagreements that we have because there's more and more recordings popping up with more and more questions about the same target that I'm aiming at, right? So there's a bunch of arrows sticking in that bullseye right now. Mine just happens to be one that's outside the bullseye. Is that a fair analogy?
I would not say that's a fair analogy.
You mean
equating
Top Shelf Anarchy getting his case dismissed by saying, by asking one simple question? I mean, that's pretty downright right at the bullseye. Do you have any factual evidence that a private civilian has any obligation to follow a written code called, or a written instrument called traffic code? And they couldn't produce the factual evidence. Imagine that.
So I'm going to exercise extreme skepticism that was the exact circumstance, and that there was no other factor included in that.
You're right. There's a little more that went into it. I mean, they tried to wiggle out of that question, both prosecutor, because the prosecutor kicked it up to the judge kicked it back to the prosecutor, and then the prosecutor kicked it back to the judge and put the judge in the hot seat. And the judge was like, so he got it on record that they're saying they're both state agents, and so he said, how can I get a fair trial in this state court if you're taking the position that I am obligated? All the state has to do to prove its obligation is to say that I have an obligation without producing any factual evidence. He said, how am I going to get a fair trial? They ultimately dismissed the case.
Well, until I see the actual video itself, and even then, that's not necessarily the full explanation of why a prosecutor may have chosen to not prosecute a case, or why a judge's order may have dismissed the case.
He's now suing the city of Mesa, but his target, like I said, he hit a bullseye when he asked the question. Listen, I understand this topic is going to shake a lot of belief structures, and people probably aren't prepared for that, just like I wasn't prepared for that. When your belief structure crumbles in front of your face and you go, wow, there is something different to law, it's a little crazy, which would explain why there's so much work being done on the opposite side to prove that that's not the case when there is no proof for it. So it's kind of like it goes by the belief, right? So if somebody believes it, then it's true. So a lot of people believed it. And
you could say that in the sense that we believe the Constitution is valid because enough people agree to it.
Well, same thing as people believe in the Bible. So it's, so yeah, you can go further down in the foundation of law and where it comes from. But we both know that once you get up to, the state level, like I said, in international courts, do you think they care what the statutes of the state of Michigan say in an international court? No, they're 2 steps above. They're a federal and then they're international. So it's like in an international court, do you think they care what's written in any instrument in any country or any territory? No, they don't. The law is the common law. I don't think they're citing the Constitution. Listen, I believe the Constitution was written. It's probably the best Constitution that's ever been written. It's just the interpretation and the case law that's come down that started taking more rights than it's given back.
So then your issue would be with the common law, judicial interpretations.
Well, I didn't say I have an issue with it. I just said, it's
when you just said the interpretation of it is what is what has been improper.
Well, let me give you an example, right? Murder. Let's put murder on an international level, still wrong, right? Then you put it on a federal level or any territory level, it's still wrong. Then you put it on a state level, it's still wrong. You put it on a local level, like a city or a township, it's still wrong. Then you put it on a family level or, a community level, it's still wrong. It's wrong on every level, from international law all the way down to local law, and everywhere in between, it's still wrong, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we take weed laws, right? In Amsterdam, so depending on where you're at, geographic area, that takes care of, okay, so according to international law, they don't care, right, about weed. I mean, internationally, they're not gonna. I mean, unless it's a huge drug smuggling ring or something like that, I doubt they're prosecuting you for personal amounts of weed in international court. So you go down to the federal level, right? The federal level, weed is still illegal here in the United States, correct?
Yes.
So couldn't you make the claim that my sister doesn't care about the laws because she smokes weed? Because federally, it's still illegal, correct?
Federally, it still is a scheduled substance, yes.
Right. So at the state level, it's okay. Then at the local level, it's okay because there's no law in White Lake stating that you can't have weed. Then it's okay on the family or the community level because everybody around here has accepted weed is not that dangerous. But you go up to that federal level, you notice how you have to chuck it out, and like all those, they're like light switches. Unless all the light switches are turned to the on direction, you have a man-made flawed law. And man-made laws are flawed, like weed laws, right? Just like any substance law, right? Because in Switzerland, they have a completely different method for dealing with their drug problems, right? So based on geographic area, you can throw out some laws. Based on time, like in Michigan, right? In Michigan, 4 years ago, weed was illegal. So you wouldn't have been able to do it here. It was still illegal on the federal level. International doesn't care. And local. So like I said, all the light switches weren't on. That it's not a law unless all the light switches are on.
But that's not how the Constitution is written.
You're right. It's not how the Constitution is written. What I'm trying to get you to understand is the difference between man-made flawed laws and then laws that, stealing is wrong on an international level. It's wrong on a federal level. It's wrong on a state level. It's wrong on a local level. It's wrong on your community and your family level. It's wrong from top to bottom.
But again, with the Constitution being the governing document of the country, it is the supreme law of the land. You agree, yes?
I agree. It's the supreme law of this land, correct?
So
the land that I am in.
So the Constitution enables the legislature to make law. You would agree with that as well, I assume.
And they make man-made flawed laws.
But the Constitution whether you think they're flawed or not, the Constitution empowers the legislature to make the laws.
Non-violent victimless crimes are, they're hurting
but it doesn't
society.
say that Congress can only make laws that prohibit.
I didn't say
things
it did.
That don't involve victims.
And we're human. We're humans. We're flawed. So we're going to write flawed laws. How about we just accept that some of these laws are flawed?
And so the way to change them is through the legislature.
But have I ever advocated to change them? I mean, I have in subtle ways, like, hey, end the drug war, because all it does is make the police the enemy of the people, and then it makes it harder to solve homicides, makes it harder to solve the real crimes like rape and murder and theft and let's see, what's another one? Assault. It makes it harder to solve those crimes when, you've got like 30% of a police budget typically for the drug war, and, they get federal money and all sorts of stuff.
And I'll even concede that those are some valid criticisms. But again, the way the Constitution is written, Congress makes the laws.
Well, can we accept that they're man-made flawed laws? Because I don't think I don't think you have to petition Congress to come up with a law against murder. Like, nobody's going to debate.
Well, there is. Whenever somebody's charged with a crime, they are the indictment lists a statutory basis for that.
Okay, so yeah, a statutory basis. But like I said, it's wrong on the statutory basis. If it's wrong on the federal, law basis, if it's wrong on the international law basis, and it's wrong from top to bottom, then it's a law. If it's not, then it's a man-made flawed law. Do you understand the difference between man-made flawed laws?
I understand the difference between man-made laws and what you claim to be natural laws. I don't agree with your assessment on that, but I understand the distinction that you're making.
Would you agree that alcohol has been a man-made flawed law because it's changed over time? It's been legal in some areas, illegal in others, so it changes. We can agree that it changes geographic-wise and time frame-wise, correct?
I disagree with your notion that these laws are inherently flawed.
I didn't say inherently. I said they were flawed. It's not that inherently flawed. They were flawed. They were flawed right from the get-go.
Well, in terms of the Constitution, Congress, or I should say the government as a whole for the amendment process, had the authority to enact the 18th Amendment, which outlawed alcohol, just like they had the authority to repeal it.
Well, they have the right to appeal it, but what I'm saying is the time frame in which, there was a certain point at prohibition, there was a time frame when you couldn't buy alcohol, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then that changed, and then there's a lot of areas now you can buy alcohol, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then based on the geography of where you're at, there's still some dry counties in this country, correct? Like in Tennessee?
I guess I don't know if there are still entirely 24/7, 365 dry counties.
Assuming that what I'm telling you is true, because I've been to these dry counties, and yes, you can't buy alcohol at any time. It's prohibited in the county in Tennessee. But assuming that's true, wouldn't you say based on geography it changes?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's how you spot the man-made flawed laws. That's a man-made flawed law because it changes by geography and it changes by time. Laws don't change over time. Like, we practice law of attraction. What do you think about my law of attraction, by the way, Mr. Carroll?
Well, that's not a law in the same sense that statutes are laws.
Well, I'm practicing the law of attraction, so I don't know if you've been...
You do realize that scientific laws are different from statutory and government-based law, right?
I use
like
it.
The laws of physics are not the same as
man-made flawed laws, but there's laws that are common laws that have stood the test of time that you don't have to ask or question whether they're wrong or right. Like raping somebody, murdering somebody, assaulting somebody, or stealing from somebody. Those are clearly wrong. And I don't care what religion you're in, those are clearly wrong. Could we agree there?
Not necessarily. Sometimes.
When is stealing okay? When is murder okay? When is raping okay?
Well, using the term murder, I suppose, would make that distinction more clear, because sometimes, like in biblical law, it used to be that you could put somebody to death for working on the Sabbath.
Okay, so working on on a Sunday would get you put to death?
Yeah.
That's a pretty harsh law. I think I'd just take the day off. If that was the law, I'd be happy to take my day off on Sundays.
But if somebody did work on Sunday, like say a doctor works on a Sunday to save people at the hospital, should that person be put to death?
Screw that doctor, man, and all his education. Let's just put him to the guillotine right away. They didn't use the guillotine back then, though, did they? They had something different.
No, the guillotine was not invented until the 1700s.
Yeah, until France, and then they lost off.
But again, do you see where
I was
the
giving
flaw
you
in that argument is?
But no, I'm still going to come back to the question of, stealing is wrong, correct?
Well, let me ask you this. Where do you get the underlying notion that stealing is wrong?
Because you don't want it done to you. You don't want me stealing from you, and I don't want you stealing from me, correct?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So any two human beings, right? Any two human beings, you don't want somebody stealing from you. That's wrong. It's a sign of disrespect. It's a sign of somebody using you or putting you down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so stealing is wrong no matter where, when, or how. It doesn't change by time. It doesn't change by geography. That is a law that every culture is going to be based on. There's always going to be punishment for stealing. That's to be expected. I am in favor of those laws. I don't operate lawless. I don't operate like as a loose cannon to society.
But for the select few people who do, there are punishments, yes?
Well, yeah, they're in the wrong. If you're taking somebody's life, if you're taking somebody's property that doesn't, if it's not yours and you take it, then you deserve some punishment.
And so, by that logic, if there are people in a society where they get to elect representatives who determine what the laws are, if enough of them don't want a certain substance to be legal to use in that jurisdiction,
then it's going to be a man-made flawed law, and then it's going to be, and then that good road is, then that bad road is going to be paved with good intentions, but it's going to lead to officers taking kickbacks for those illegal substances. It's going to involve fentanyl overdoses. It's going to involve street drugs. It's going to involve cartel-like behavior. It's going to breed violence. It's going to create anarchy. You create anarchy when you have the drug war. In the drug war, we have unknown buyers, correct?
I mean, there's a black market in it, yes.
Okay, so unknown buyers and they're unknown sellers, correct?
As part of the black market, sure.
Okay, and then they're unknown substances, right? Shit's being laced with fentanyl right now, correct?
Yeah.
Isn't that by definition anarchy when you don't know who's doing what or who's buying what, who's selling what, and you don't know what they're selling? You have unknown substances? Isn't that the definition of anarchy?
I mean,
I'm gonna make you think here, Mr. Carroll.
In the sense that anarchy is a governmental system, no.
It's based like lawlessness is basically attached to anarchy. Would we agree on that? I mean, I think we both would agree that majority of people when they think anarchy, and that's actually factually wrong, but I'm not going to get off on that tangent. But what I'm saying,
I understand the analogy that you're trying to make.
Yeah. Okay. So
just definitionally, I disagree with that, but I see where you're going. So sure, in a sense.
Right. Do you see how that's happening and the epidemic is getting worse, not better?
I guess I don't have the statistics to determine whether it's necessarily getting worse on every front, but I agree there are a lot of problems.
Okay,
I think capitalism probably has more of a hand in creating this system and its woes than the prohibition of the drugs entirely. I mean, capitalism is what led to the opium crisis.
Well, yeah, and prohibition has not solved the drug problem. If you ask me, it's added a problem on top of a problem. Like you have the substances are one problem. And then when you put the drug war in there, it adds one problem to another problem. Do you need to give you an example?
No, but adding one problem to another problem can be the result of a lot of different legal circumstances.
Would you be in favor of decriminalization if you were to run like for governor of Ohio?
Probably.
Okay, well, that would be awesome. I mean, at least, as a governor or as like a president, you could really advocate and probably use your weight as the political leader to at least, like, let's say you became governor of Ohio. You could at least probably lobby a fair amount of your urban centers to at least try those programs, right? So you wouldn't have to get the entire state to adopt it, but you could be like, listen, we're running the experiment. It's going to be focal here. Instead of the money on law enforcement, we're going to switch that to substance abuse. So all the police that might be getting defunded or losing their jobs, they're now going to get education on substance abuse and being a counselor in that, so they don't have to lose their job as a cop. Some of the bigger guys as cops, yeah, you might have to restrain an unruly patient. That's perfectly understandable, but you don't need to be out there beating up the population for the drugs and the personal amounts of drugs they have on them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and my position on this is looking just at Portugal as an example. They've had a tremendous amount of success in decriminalizing substances and advocating treatment. And just based on the evidence of that success, I think that warrants looking into that.
Further study, I would agree. And and I'm glad you brought up Portugal, because if you talk to a lot of the police, I saw a report on Vice, so it's very left-leaning, so I was very, skeptical of the bias. But, you look at all the cops over time that used to participate in the drug war, and none of them want to go back to the way it was. Is that amazing or what?
I mean, I guess coming from Vice, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying more to the comment, if it was true that the police, because I've read it in other, I did more research and I read it in like a bunch of Google articles and stuff, if, that was true, because I fact check everything from Vice. Like, they'll have you believing in a lot of stuff that's crazy, but anyways, the one point that I was trying to make is the cops in Portugal say their jobs are easier now, that they don't have to deal with this problem in that way.
Yeah, when I just assume that is an effect of the decriminalization as a whole.
Yeah, so like, for example, in Ohio, I imagine you'd have some of your urban areas more like Cincinnati, more like Cleveland, like maybe try it out in a couple of the counties surrounding there and say decriminalization. Let's focus all the money on police towards recovery and rehabs and stuff like that. See where it goes. And if you're a president, for example, like if somebody were a president, they could actually lobby a couple of states, right? Like maybe 2 or 3 states to decriminalize and run the experiment in 3 to 4 of the states, send them a little extra federal money to try the pilot programs and see how it works and adopt, because the United States shouldn't have so much pride that they can't see a good idea from another country and go, hey, we're adopting that approach. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree with that sentiment. Some of the
that's where I'm usually always going on that sort of issue, and then of course everybody drags me into it because of my personal stuff, which I don't want to start getting into, but I do get falsely accused of hating a rehab program here in Michigan, which, that rehab program, they actually used my daughter as their poster child. And they didn't ask consent for that. That was kind of odd, don't you think?
Well, if you have a concern about it, you can certainly speak to an attorney about it.
I have nothing against the charity. It's like,
here's what I would also say too. As much as we can agree on the notion that it would probably be better to decriminalize these drugs, the way that is going to happen is through the legislative process.
Well, I would agree. So, I mean, I don't know any big shots or any attorneys that can write the legalese and, say it in the way it needs to be said to be taken seriously in court. I don't think I've ever advocated that I have a legal background, so, I can't do it, right? I don't pretend like I can.
No, but what I'm saying is the way to affect change is to write your representative, vote for representatives who you think will pursue the agendas that you're in favor of. That's the representational part of our government.
Well, it's hard for me to even get a voice, to even propose the ideas. But I think, based on our conversation for the last half hour, 45 minutes, I think we've actually thrown out some ideas that we seem to be strangely parallel with.
Yes, but on ideas where you disagree with them, you seem to think that flaunting the system and ignoring the laws that you don't like is the better path to...
But you see how this can benefit an attorney like you is because I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to put my privileges on the line to affect the change that might be needed to be made. So I'm kind of like your Like, if you truly believe in those ideas and you're changing the legislature, so an attorney like you could play the long game while I'm playing the short game of getting the attention drawn to the issue, if that makes sense.
Well, I would never advocate that somebody just go break the law that they disagree with.
I'm not saying break the law. I'm saying commit acts of civil disobedience, where you're touching the gray area of law. And it might take a lot of argument and persuasion to convince, but, you know, I'm not stupid enough to go in, for example, at the courthouse when I got my disorderly. I'll just use this as an example. When I got my disorderly up at the courthouse, I knew the limit that I could push it to where a jury would be like, oh, no, that guy's an asshole. We're definitely convicting him. I even had the college kids on the side telling these folks that this is our building and, you know, you shouldn't be treating that guy like that. Like, I rallied, like, everybody was on my side in that lobby. That's why when that prosecutor said we talked to the witnesses, she talked to the COVID screeners. COVID screeners were probably like, yeah, we agree with the dad. There's a dad trying to see his kids. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing to him? So do you see how I put myself on the front lines with the recording rules, with all that sort of stuff? There's no risk to you, but if you're going to advocate for certain things, I would advocate for changing the drug war, you know, the way that we proposed, which is maybe see if some urban centers would be willing to participate in the study, maybe make it a countywide thing, you know, and then it's like, hey, we're running the experiment. Let's see how it goes.
Well, again, you can write to your representative and suggest these things. You can join action groups to get these things.
Well, I'm not good at the writing side of it and everything like that. So
It doesn't even have to be part of the writing side.
Well, I just do it through the activism, you know what I mean? Like, draw a big shining light on the nonviolent victimless crime aspect, which would go a long way to getting the long game taken care of and changing the legislature for the positive. Don't you see how the nonviolent victimless crime thing kind of ties into helping that cause?
Well, in regard to the...
Just specifically the drug war, nothing else.
I was going to say, in regard to the drug war, I think you're going to garner much more sympathy than your views on driver's licenses.
Yeah, imagine putting, like, some states still have marijuana illegal. Imagine locking a guy in jail with rapists, murderers, and stuff like that because he had plant matter on him. Think of how ridiculous that is.
But again, I don't advocate people to go break the laws.
Yeah, I'm not saying you advocate for
the law.
Yeah, advocating for people to break the law is completely different than what I'm asking. I'm asking you to take the stance that on a nonviolent victimless crime, jail should be a last resort, as you put it for the child support stuff, too.
Right, but when somebody breaks the law...
But that should be a last resort to put them in with violent criminals. Anybody in jail over a nonviolent victimless crime, I believe, is done an injustice. I mean, to take somebody's freedom is the most precious thing that they have. That's just my stance. And I know that you agree with, you know, following the statutes, and then if something bad happens, hey, you deserved it, kind of. It's kind of the attitude.
Okay,
I mean,
well...
roughly speaking, it's more nuanced than that, but I'm saying roughly speaking, would you say that's accurate?
Say that again?
I said, roughly speaking, would that be accurate, just to say that on a nonviolent victimless crime, it should be used as a last resort as far as jail?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
But again, that also depends on how the laws are written in that jurisdiction. And again, if you think the laws are bad, follow the constitutional procedure for changing them.
Or I'll just hang back and let people like you or, you know, other people that have legal background to, you know, draft the legislation. And I mean, I think man-made laws should always have an expiration date, like 6 years or something like that, or 4 years or 2 years, something like that. So every time it lapses, you have to vote it back in.
Well, again, every law that we apply to somebody is a statute that's been enacted. Even the murder ones, even the theft.
Oh
and,
yeah, I understand. Yeah, and then they're going to classify it as to what's first degree, premeditated murder, what's second degree premeditated murder, what's manslaughter or homicide, or like there's different classifications. That's what the statutes are good for. But again, you're talking about a state.
Well, you
talking
keep
about a state
equating
statute.
man-made laws to being flawed or incorrect, but man-made laws are what gets applied.
Yeah, but they're
in every criminal case.
Every criminal case. But listen, if they're incongruent from top to bottom, if there's anything that's incongruent, then it's a man-made flawed law. So I mean,
incongruent to international law,
to geographic area, to time that the laws that the law was enacted. I mean, murder has been wrong since the beginning of time. Stealing has been wrong since the beginning of time. Rape has been wrong since the beginning of time, and it'll never be right. Weed in Michigan was wrong 4 years ago. It's right today. Do you see how that sounds? How was it wrong 4 years ago, but right today, other than what was written on paper?
Because the people of the state of Michigan, through their representatives, they enacted laws prohibiting it initially, and then
it was wrong,
repealing that prohibition.
Okay, so was it wrong 4 years ago, or was it? Because it's right today.
You're equating your view of what is moral with what the laws say. And I understand there's a compelling argument to be made that all laws should be based on what people view as moral.
Compelling argument. There's a lot of people out there saying I'm incapable of making a compelling argument.
I have never said that you were incapable of making a compelling argument.
Okay. Well, I try to do that with my activism, which I hope you understand. And speaking of activism, I have to get to bed here at some point. Not that this conversation has took a boring turn. I think it's gotten more interesting as we talk. And I know it's an interesting conversation when I completely ignored the chat. And I had somebody ladybug in here that said for the first time. So hopefully that's genuine and not a troll. But if that's genuine, welcome in. And I appreciate everybody for being in here. Mr. Carroll, do you have anything to say as parting words? And then maybe we can pick this back up at a later date.
Well, given your moral nuances, somebody did raise the compelling question of what your opinion would be of somebody who is starving stealing from a Walmart.
Yeah, and maybe that'll be a great discussion and a picking up spot. Denizen, I thought that question was from you, and that's a great question. We'll come back to it. Fan Day Friday is tomorrow, so that's when I like to go and revisit comments I didn't have time to get to. So I have to shut the stream down because that question would take a while to kind of kick back and forth. That's a pretty deep question, if you ask me. So I don't know if you felt the same way about that question, Mr. Carroll. I think you did because you came back to it. So maybe we can pick up on that question next time we get the chance to do this again.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on again. I appreciate that you didn't need to accuse me of treason this time.
Well, thank you for coming up. And no, I don't think you're guilty of high treason yet. I mean that in a provocative way that's not intended to get under your skin that much. I mean, just a little bit, maybe a tiny bit.
I mean, I take it with a grain of salt based on who it comes from. Like Craig from CH and Tie Audits, who I have very little regard for. I suppose I could view that as a compliment.
And you have slightly higher regard for me, I think, after tonight. A little bit higher, maybe tiny bit.
I would even go so far as to say marginally higher.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm trying my best up here to just welcome the discussion. So thank you for participating. Appreciate everybody that came in tonight. We're going to wrap this show up. If you can give it a like, if you're just coming in, definitely appreciate everybody for being here. So Mr. Carroll, I'm going to wish you a good night, drop you down to the basement. Hopefully we get to do this again.
You as well.
All right, everybody, that was Mr. Carroll. And then we had the Liliana up here. We had Wolverine up here. We had a panel that was somewhat interesting tonight. always have an idea on the show is kind of the direction I want to take it. And then depending on the panel guests, it can take, whatever turn. So hopefully you guys enjoy that type of stuff. I know I do. So might as well take an opportunity to thank the panel guests that came up tonight. Hope you guys liked it. Oh yeah, Denizen, just to remind me, or if you see us having this chat again, feel free to throw that question back up there. But I think you understand, right? Too much packed into one question, too little time based on we're over 3 hours already. So I'm going to wrap this up with, thank you all for being here. And with any luck, we'll get to do this again.